Radio York with Scarborough Athletic. I'm always keeping an eye on some of the players that Middlesbrough's academy let go because of the geography between Middlesbrough and Scarborough. It tends to be an easy pickup for Scarborough Athletic. They've got quite a lot of the ex-Middlesbrough academy in their ranks, and they actually played Scarborough Middlesbrough's under-21s in a local county cup final a couple of seasons ago, and he was actually left out of the team, so you think, but the reason for that is he was actually on the bench in the Championship for Middlesbrough, and he was named on the bench quite a few times. So he was very, very close, if you like, and maybe you can say it was a missed opportunity that Middlesbrough didn't give him more game time because they adored him there, but then he decided to go out and test himself in non-league circles, and Grimsby Town, as we've seen, are coming for an offer and put down a 3-year contract, which I also think instilled a bit of confidence that they really see something in this player, because they haven't just offered him something short term to let him go, and they've gone in on the long haul for another 3-year deal.
Just finally, I know you keep your eye on Hull City games from time to time, cover them for us, and of course you've got a long association, Fletch, with the Tigers. 11 changes for City tonight, and it very much is that kind of backup 11 with maybe a couple of players who you'd argue are on the fringes of being first team starters, the likes of Lucas Harrington, Matt Target, Ron Diaf, Berto Dahl as well, in there as well tonight. Big opportunity for them, isn't it, to show that they're more than backup players?
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at some of the players that are on the bench as well, if they are perhaps, even though they didn't show it against Manchester United, if they are a little bit undercooked and need a few more minutes, then it's going to be no harm bringing them on, isn't it? I just can't believe it's been 10 years since Ryan Mason scored his spectacular goal in this competition at that very ground.
Of course, yes, you're right, it was, wasn't it? Yes, it was in that game 10 years ago. We've all aged a bit. I don't mind admitting it to you, Fletch. I wasn't as grey back then.
You know what, neither was I.
James Fletcher, thank you very much. The BBC's James Fletcher, sometimes associated with us, and then sometimes the BBC's commentator for Scarborough Athletic games, joining me here on BBC Radio Humberside. A reminder of the headlines tonight then. 11 changes for the Tigers in the second round of the EFL Cup. Alex Burgess and Swanee in commentary team tonight for all frequencies, not online, but you will find it on 95.9 FM, Freeview Channel 713, and digital radio as well. We'll recap the team news, we'll get into talking about the game and reflecting on Saturday after the latest BBC News at 7. We'll talk cricket, and Yorkshire's Joe Root on the way.
It's time to talk all things gardening.
The Gardening Hour.
BBC Radio Humberside.
I've used all the water in the water brush. It's gone quickly now. Can I use the water from the washing machine?
I just wanted how to keep them doing that. It's a tricky one. I'm going to go for something very drastic. I'm going to pinch the tops, loads of fishes that fall like that. That's the good thing about hydroponics. You don't need to do anything, you just leave them. It's just too hot and dry. Smoke, dead head, look after the garden and enjoy it.
If you have a question, green fingers at bbc.co.uk.
The Gardening Hour. Search and subscribe on BBC Sounds. England men's Test captain Yorkshire's Joe Root says he's hacked off and disappointed at the incident involving fast bowler Bryden Cast at the Derby nightclub. Images appeared on social media that appeared to show Cast in handcuffs outside the bar on Saturday night, when he was briefly arrested and subsequently de-arrested. Cast has been dropped from the squad for the second test, starting against Pakistan this week. Root has been speaking with the BBC's Sports News correspondent, Stefan Schmidt.
John, you would have wanted to come to Lords and talk about cricket and an excellent performance at Headingley, but things unfolded over the weekend that you wouldn't have wanted to happen. So if you just describe your feelings about the events of the past few days.
Yeah, well, my first concern was Bryden and making sure that he was okay. I had a couple of conversations with him, and hopefully this isn't our turn saying this, but he's obviously very upset, deeply disappointed, and been very apologetic. He's owned his actions to me. I'm sure in time he'll want to express that publicly, but not necessarily the incident in isolation, but the fact that, yeah, again, this is another time we're not talking about what brilliant performance we had last week. We're talking about something that's happened off the field. So very frustrating.
It was only a few days ago that you were talking about your players being good role models and good human beings, and after the first test of your second reign as captaincy, we have another incident that's happened off the field.
Yeah, and we also had a very strong discussion this morning about what's expected of everyone when they play for England, and what the standards are that we have to uphold, not just on the field but off it, around it. And I think that actually now we have a really good opportunity to build something that is very powerful, that is something that can be authentic to the group of players, that we can be proud of, and that people that support us and follow us can be proud of as well. And that's not something that's just going to happen overnight. That's something that's going to have to take a lot of work. And clearly we have to keep looking at ways we can improve as a team on the field, but that also has to be the same off it. And again, I don't know how long I'm going to play Test cricket for. A lot of those guys have got the chance to do it for the next 10 to 15 years, and they've got the chance to be involved in building something that they can be proud of, and that they can pass on to the next generations of players, and that they can then evolve. And it sounds a bit of a cliche, but you hear it a lot. You want to leave the dressing room in a better place than where you found it. Well, this is the opportunity that lies ahead of these guys, and we have to start acting on that straight away.
Can you tell us about that discussion? Is that led by you? Have you sat the players down? What was their response?
Yeah, so there are certain things that I think should stay in the dressing room, but there's a very clear understanding of what's required and what it should mean to play for England, and how we need to better ourselves. And it was a really good conversation involving everyone, really. So that is crystal clear now, and like I said, we have an opportunity in front of us to act on that and build something that we can be proud of, and people that support us can be proud of. So,
Act up, you said. And you feel personally let down?
I'm just very disappointed that we're talking about that. I look at that performance at Edinburgh, and it's exactly what we spoke about leading into the game. We had little preparation, very clear about how we wanted to expose those conditions, and we did it from ball one. So the bowls were outstanding. I thought we managed the game really well with that. There were some tricky phases, and we got the tempo brilliant on that surface, and just drove the game from start to finish. So the fact that we're sat here talking about something else is a frustration. So it's not the isolated incident itself, it's the fact that it's been a continual thing for a period of time now, and it has to stop.
You remove the curfew. What's the next step? Does curfew need to come back?
We've made the next step. We've made it very clear of what's required and what we need to do and how we want to conduct ourselves. And I guess the fun part now is building that and being a part of that and growing that, and the opportunity that lies in the players is being involved in shaping that. And I'll be at the forefront of that as captain of this team. So I kind of see it as an opportunity for us to really grow as a team and build something that everyone.
I know there's a process, and you can't comment on disciplinaries and all those sorts of things, but just as a captain, would you be happy to have Brian back in your team?
Again, it's kind of a hypothetical because we don't know what's going to come out of investigations and stuff, so we think it's important we let that run out and we see where we land. I believe that our focus has to be on the performance now this week. As I say, we've still made it very clear in the dressing room on that side of things. Now we've got 2 days where we can prepare really well for the cricket on the field, and try and stay as present as we can and look after the performance side of playing.
Ask you about Ben Stokes' involvement. He was present. He's a former captain.
Yeah, he was. I spoke to him when I tried to find out how Bryden is, but again, my concern is this dressing room and what we can do from this point onwards, and that's what my focus has to be on.
Can you understand that supporters might be feeling quite fed up with this team?
I think I can understand why we're fed up with this being the narrative around the team once again, and that's our own doing. But as I say, this is something that we've got to work towards over a long period of time, by living and breathing it every single day, understanding that our performance on the field are one thing, and the way we conduct ourselves off it is also extremely important too. So that's a chance that lies ahead of us, and the opportunity over the next little while is like it's not going to happen overnight. We're going to have to work hard at it for a long period of time, but hopefully we can earn that respect and support back from people that do follow us and do care about how we play.
Just a couple of final thoughts. England have won 2 test matches this summer, and after both of them have been off-field incidents. In terms of rebuilding the reputation with supporters, is winning enough, or has it got to be on the field and off the field?
I think that just in general, I guess you have the privilege of being a leader within a team, you want to build something bigger than just winning anyway. I think you want to pass on something that can then be evolved and improved upon, but is in a position of strength. And that's not just in terms of how you play cricket, but how you operate around it. And I feel like I didn't do that very well first time around. And I think that that's an opportunity that lies ahead for me and for Steve Fleming when he starts, and for this group of players. Like I say, it's generally the core of it is very young and is going to be around for a long period of time. And they themselves have a real opportunity to be at the forefront of something very special, especially if we can turn out more consistent performances like we did last week and in the manner that we did and with the style of play that we did. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to continue working hard towards. I guess that's the full cycle.
Last one. In case anyone's forgotten, there's a test match starting in 2 days. You're 1-0 up, you've got the opportunity to win a series. England haven't won a series since 2024. What are you expecting from this week? Especially what you learned last week about Pakistan, about your team, what's going to be different. His 4-team was going to be the formation again.
Fantastic. It's Joe Root who's been talking to the BBC's Stephen Schmidt. Very forthright views from the Yorkshire player and, of course, England's captain. It's BBC Radio Humberside Sport Live from 7 o'clock this evening. We are 45 minutes-ish away from commentary tonight of the Tigers in action in Stoke. Can they do it on a relatively mild Tuesday evening? If so. It's the second round of the League Cup, the EFL Cup tonight. We're bringing you full match commentary of the game on all frequencies, not online on BBC Sounds, but certainly on 95.9 FM, also on digital radio and Freeview channel 713 if you want to stick it on the telly as well. Post-match reaction to come. We'll hear from the assistant head coach Dean Holden on the way soon.
It's easy to listen on your smart speaker. Just say
BBC Radio Humberside.
or anytime on BBC Sounds. The sound of Northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire is BBC Radio Humberside.
At 7 with the BBC News, I'm Francesca Flynn. 17 people have now been arrested over the fatal crash on the A66 near Middlesbrough on Saturday. 7 people were killed in the collision, including 2 police officers. 2 people have been charged. The BBC's Kieran Trott has more details on the police investigation.
Detectives have been looking at offences like firearms and being part of an organised crime group. And the latest we have from Cleveland Police is this. Of the 9 men and 3 women who were arrested, a 26-year-old man has been charged with a Class A drug offence as well as possession of criminal property. He's been remanded in custody. 5 people, including a 61-year-old woman, have been released on bail.
Meanwhile, the police watchdog is investigating after a man died and 2 women were seriously injured when a car crashed following a pursuit near Stratford-upon-Avon. Warwickshire Police said its officers had followed the Audi for around 6 minutes before it collided with another vehicle. A student who stabbed his former friend because of an argument over a fake Rolex has been jailed for 10 years. 19-year-old Harper Dennis was found guilty of manslaughter after the attack on Khalid Oladipo near De Montfort University in Leicester in February of this year. The head of the CIA has travelled to Moscow for unannounced talks, according to US media. John Ratcliffe reportedly arrived in the Russian capital earlier today. Neither Washington nor Moscow have confirmed the nature of the visit. In-person talks between high-level American and Russian officials are rare. England's cricket captain Joe Root says he's hacked off and disappointed by another off-the-field incident involving a member of the team. Bowler Bryden Cars has been dropped from the squad for their second test against Pakistan after he ended up in handcuffs outside a bar in Derby on Saturday night. He was then de-arrested. Ian Shepherd is the host of Always Look on the Bright Side Alive, the Somerset Cricket podcast.
It's not a good look, especially when you consider that they're elite athletes, they're international sportsmen, and you would have thought they would be instructed to lay off the alcohol full stop, really. If you're out drinking alcohol, that's another negative effect on your body.
A 3-year-old boy from Cambridgeshire who was seriously injured in a crocodile enclosure has been discharged from hospital. The boy was visiting a zoo in Cambridgeshire with his family in June when he was attacked by at least one of the animals. His parents posted online to say he was happy to be home, playing with his toys, sleeping in his own bed, and being a big brother. And a supermarket has made a 12-year-old girl's birthday extra special by letting her don a uniform and have a go on the checkouts. Hope, who is non-verbal and has a neurological condition, loves shopping at her local Asda in Sheffield, so the store arranged for her to have a special birthday treat. You're up to date, it's 3 minutes past 7.
BBC Radio Humberside Sports. Good evening, Humberside Sport brings you Hull City commentary. And Hull City commentary 3 days after one of the best days in the club's recent history.
Right-footed little flick across the area, but Bernie turns it back, chance, and City lead in the only game of the Premier League, and it's Shemi Ajayi who finishes from close range to give the Tigers the goal against Manchester United. Slater goes it in, maybe a chance, and City have doubled the lead, and it's Mendy on his debut for the Tigers, and the afternoon just gets better and better. Hull City 2, Manchester United 0. I'll say it again, Hull City 2, Manchester United 0 on the opening day of the Premier League.
Some repeats on the BBC are most welcome. The Premier League has to wait till Saturday as the Tigers' focus switches tonight to the second round of the League Cup. So the question is, can City actually do it? On a cloudy and mild night in Stoke. On all frequencies, Swanee is joined by Alex Burgess, who's got the team news.
Indeed, let's hope they can. First time I've heard that, that brings the hairs on the back of your neck back, doesn't it? That was incredible. What a day that was. An interesting clash this, though, between two teams who've met many times over the years. Stoke, a club with undoubted pedigree, former top flight champions. Sir Stanley Matthews, Gordon Banks and more, with very wealthy owners. And yet the Premier League's been elusive since the relegation of the 2017-18 season. The Tigers, of course, back in the Premier League again, back off. The back of that fantastic historic win we were just hearing commentary of against Manchester United at the MKN. Tonight, well, it's the Carabao Cup. Maybe not quite so exciting, but you never know, you just never know. And it's definitely a useful run out of both sides. Though in truth, probably of real interest, perhaps later in the competition, should either side get there. Unsurprisingly, lots of changes for both teams, but in particular City, 11 changes in total for City tonight. So the lineup like this, with Dylan Phillips in goal, Matt Targett, Lucas Harrington, Paddy McNair and Cody Dramé the back four. Lucas Gunnar-Duat and Jens Jurtadala, two holding midfielders. Kieran Dow in that number 10 role behind Liam Miller, David Akintola and Abdush Irma, who are the front three. The bench for City tonight, Solakis, who's the goalkeeping sub tonight, Ryan Giles, Hidemasa Marita, Mo Balumi, John Egan, Elliot Stroud, who we heard from earlier, Regan Slater, Noble Mendy, who was injured, of course, at the weekend, but he is on the bench tonight, and Tyrell Sellers-Fleming. That's your lineup tonight for City.
Alex Burgess on commentary duties tonight. We've got you covered with all the build-up, full match commentary and reaction to play.
Every game live. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
I break off. Now, this isn't normal, I would do that, but I think it's a big enough story just to quickly mention it. It's just been confirmed by the BBC that Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80. Very sad news. The death in the last few moments of Dolly Parton at the age of 80. I wouldn't normally mention it in the middle of a sports show, but I think that is quite a significant cultural story to mention. So we'll no doubt hear tributes to the legend of country music, Dolly Parton, in the late show this evening with Becky Want. Very sad news. It's 6 minutes past 7. Let's talk about tonight's game, and Swanee alongside Alex Burgess this evening. Swanee, have you come to terms with that victory on Saturday and made sense of it in the 3 sleeps you've had?
Don't need to make sense of it. I still got the smile on my face, Jim. It's been a great weekend, hasn't it? I saying you come into tonight's game, you expect loads of changes, but there's players in this team tonight that'll be going out thinking, I want a part of that, I want to be part of it. So I'd expect a decent performance or a good performance from the players being given opportunities tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I was saying to Alex earlier on that there's a blend tonight's team of players who are probably close to that first team call, and then some players who probably think they aren't and may not even last until September the 1st for their opportunity and may move on. But you've got to be looking at the like of Lucas Harrington tonight, Gordon Diaz, maybe Hurtadal as well. They very much are pressing their case this evening, aren't they?
Yeah, like I said, the Mer as well, the Miller, Target. There's loads of players there. You're thinking, if we'd have been beat 3 or 4 nil the other day, they're like, today I'd be again thinking, I've got a chance. You know what I mean? I've got a chance for the Saturday's game now. They'll be looking, thinking, I want to still be a part of that somehow. So I've got to have a decent performance to get anywhere near it, to get on the bench, to fight for anything like that. So the feeling in and around the club and on the training ground must be electric these last few days. So like I said, the feel of the players that's playing tonight is all, if I'm out there, I want to be part of that. I don't want to play in, like I say, not necessarily games like it, but I want to be part of the Premier League. That's what they all set out to do, and that's the chance is so close now. It's there, some of them.
We've said this before about players who've been named in City teams that are unlikely to get a game, and I think actually, if I remember rightly, Stoke away last season in the Championship was the game that Charlie Hughes may as well have sat with his shorts, t-shirt or maybe a 3-piece suit on because he was never going to play. Unless, depending on the scoreline tonight, are there quite a few of that first team who played on Saturday named on the bench tonight that you wouldn't expect to even get on tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see any of them on. Obviously, just numbers, probably just filling the sheet on the subject bench for them. Let's say the important factor now is the Premier League. Same last year, the important factor was the Championship to get out of that. Now in the Premier League, it's important to look after these players. Like I say, it's a fantastic performance. You'll see, I expect to see no changes on Saturday. But the ones that are out here tonight, like I said, they'll have a spring in the step as well, because it's the unity of this club. That's it. That's one reason why we got promoted, because we all stuck together and we all felt the same. And the manager, I keep saying what we said about him, it's like he's a genius. Everything he seemed to do and he's getting right. And to get the result right the other day was fantastic. So like saying, they'll be all wanting to have a part of him as well. They've all bought into what he wants. So moving forward, it's a great place to be at the moment, is Hull City.
Indeed. Talk about the manager Schultz, and we'll play a clip from one of the interviews that we heard on Saturday. In terms of the tactical nous of Saturday, it was interesting listening to Dean Holden on Match of the Day. You can see how things have changed around the City universe, that managers and coaches of Hull City are appearing as guests on Match of the Day all of a sudden. But Dean Holden talked in his studio interview with Gabby and Wayne Rooney and Joe Hart on Sunday night about the fact they'd watched a couple of the games of Manchester United pre-season, the Leeds game, their recent pre-season game against AC Milan. Now we know the likes of Phil Brown and other manager Steve Bruce will have had some of that they did when they were playing during City's previous spells in the Premier League. But do you get the feeling that from a tactical level, this whole City coaching staff is on a different level perhaps, with the greatest of respect from the likes of Phil Brown?
Whether it's a different level or not, it's how you get your points over. Like I say, I've had different managers and coaches in the past, and the best coaches are the ones that says least words but gets the points over quick, so you take it on board what you want rather than waffling, because players just switch off. So yeah, they know what they want, they're on that training ground. I'm not sure that the manager's an hands-on manager when it comes to the training ground. I think he gets his coaches to coach how he wants them to coach, which is great, and he can sit back and watch his coach do that, watch his players responding to that. So if he sees things wrong, then he'll possibly change things around. But like I say, as it comes in a general, let's say at the club, the players, you look at me thinking, there's more, he wants to bring more players in as well. That's the good thing as well, wants to bring better players in. But that team, 8 of them players, James, that started on Saturday was a championship last year, and I thought this is going to be a struggle, this is going to be hard work. But when you put them all together and they all work together, you can get marvellous results. And they say the way they played, which you know about there, the way they got, and that's all down to the manager getting his point over to the players.
Well, let's hear that clip from Saturday. I know you've heard this already because you and me were sitting listening to Mike hearing this clip, but one of the few players, as Swanee mentioned, a handful of those players from the Championship starting on Saturday in the Hull City squad, but one that does at least have Premier League experience is left back Ryan Giles. The 26-year-old, when speaking to Mike on Saturday, he spoke very highly of head coach Sergei Kirovich and his gratitude that he's been given a second opportunity to play in England's top division.
It meant the world to me, honestly. I'm really grateful for the gaffer. Like I said to you in previous, Mike, I feel like I've always needed a manager just to believe in me and encourage me to go and do what I'm good at, and he really has done that. So I'll forever be grateful for him. Fantastic person, great staff as well. And they deserve everything they're going to get, and they are getting. So I'm really, really grateful. Of course, I don't just take it for granted, because he's very ruthless in his ways, to be fair to him. So you've got to keep performance levels high, but for me, ultimately, to know that I've got a manager that does appreciate me, that does ultimately believe in me, I think it's really important. And obviously it means a lot.
That's Ryan Giles. And one thing I do get, Swanee, when you think about the likes of Matt Crooks, especially Louis Coylan, how emotional he was at the playoff final, and now Ryan Giles, amongst others, there's a sense, I think there is just a genuine normality. We know football operates in a different scale, doesn't it, from time, and maybe it's a little bit separated from the true reality of real life, paying the bills and making sure you've got a full-time job and getting the food on the table for people. But there's a lot of these Hull City players who are deeply grateful for the opportunity they've got and understand how lucky they are in the opportunity that they've been given.
I think a lot of our team, well, I know a lot of our team, most of them are grounded. I say the media put players on pedestals, don't they? And they're untouchable, you can't get near them, you can't speak to them. But when you listen to like Giles talking there, so down to earth, he's saying, like I said, the right things. He's saying what comes from the heart, and like saying that is what's important when it comes to the fans side of it. They want to hear what's coming, what's happening. They want the truth. They're not silly. They turn up to watch games. They're not daft. They understand football, and they get with Hull and the players. They get close to the players. They do things together, and you feel like it's as a one. Which that's what the owner come in. They say it's one family, and you can feel that feel of it. You know what I mean? You get that. Even us doing our media bit, we feel part of that, and it's nice. And that all comes from the top down. How he looks after, like I say, himself when he comes to the ground. How I said the food and the catering, everything about that comes with it. We're well looked after. We're spoiled, to be fair. We're very lucky to be doing what we're doing. But that just comes to the certain players as well. That Giles said there, he's not lucky because he's worked hard to get there, but he's had the backing of the manager. And once you get the trust and the respect from the manager, you're going to get so much more back from him, and that's what the players are doing.
Indeed, you're absolutely right about that. I think back to a couple of weeks ago when Sergei Kirovich was in this studio. By this time, that couple of weeks ago, we finished the interview, but he hung around and he was chatting with Mike and me and Dan from the club's media team as well, talking about anything in particular. But he hung around and chatted, and I thought it was really nice seeing the pictures on Saturday of the post-match kind of atmosphere around the bars and restaurants near to the stadium, and Ajahn Ilagela was out with some people connected with him, and Sergei Kirovich was in the same local restaurant. I thought they're probably giving him cheap food, that's probably why, but it was nice. How many times do you see a Premier League manager a couple of hours, maybe an hour after the game, in and amongst the fans, with his family, eating and drinking and being part of it? And that's nice, isn't it? Because the Premier League does. We've seen it in this last week, how bonkers the Premier League is, and how, as you say, it puts people on plinths and pedestals. But they have one of the biggest results in Hull City's history, a kind of groundbreaking result for the Premier League to some extent, and the manager an hour later is eating with the fans.
That's what you want to see. That's what we all want to see. You look at him as like being human. He's got a great sense of humour. He's always got a laugh and a joke. He's easy to get on with. Like you said there, he'll sit and talk to anybody. But he's got something about him. He's got that personality, which I won't like to get on the wrong side of him. Put it that way.
No.
You know what I mean? But again, that's as a ex-player and you look at as a manager like that, it's more of a respect thing. You don't get scared in players, oh, your manager. It's a respect thing, and I say he's got that something about him where no doubt he's the joker, yeah, he'll be the one that's there at the right time. But when he needs to be serious and get his point over, he's got both sides of him, and that's important that the players know when and when they can't do certain things.
What about the importance of tonight? How nobody wants to lose a game, no fan wants to lose a game, and I imagine that Sergei Kirich, we know how competitive he is, won't want to be knocked out of the League Cup, but clearly there will be that thought, Swanee, that in the grand scheme of things it's clearly not the biggest thing about this season. Where does the importance of a decent run in the League Cup come then, given what else is happening for Hull City?
I don't know really much about League Cups, do we? Have we done that for the last 5 years at first round, something like that?
I'll double check that, but certainly
You double check that for me, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the case, but so we've not much to look back on. I'm thinking that's what happened. So for us today and for the players that's out there today, we need to stay in this cup competition for these players to give them opportunities to get run-outs and get the fitness levels up. Plus, you need to get in winning ways as well, don't you? You need to get into the habit of winning games, and that'd be a good start there. I don't know how many changes Stoke have made, but who cares about Stoke? It's all about us and what we've got in our dressing room and on that field, and keep that good feel factor around us. So, yeah, I think it's important to get a win today. Let's say something to look forward to again, moving forward, which we haven't done, let's say, for 5 years.
Well, I can tell you that City have been knocked out in the first round. The last time they got through as far as the third round was the 2021 season, the COVID year, when they were knocked out West Ham in the third round. Knocked out in the first round to Wigan 21-22, Bradford in 22-23, Doncaster in 23-24, Sheffield Wednesday the season before last, and then Wrexham last season in that epic penalty shootout last season, this time last year.
Well, at least someone's done the research, Jim.
Well, that's me going on the internet really quickly.
I've done my research.
I've just told you just to double check, that's all. Alex's research is somewhere down roundabout, that's blown off. So it could be quite right tonight.
It's true.
It's Mr. Professional.
His paperwork's on its way to Burslem, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad you both find it funny. It's 3 hours to do that.
He said he's gone for something to eat, and he's been looking under like seats and everything down there.
Tomorrow, Alex is on his way to a well-known high street retailer that sells digital equipment to get himself a cheap iPad that he can take to the next commentary
I think
game.
I might be able to get myself some of those, don't worry about that. But, yeah.
Actually, I
Pay
pay
for the future. Yeah, pay for the future. Pay for the future.
I just realised why you said that. We'll come back. We'll come back shortly and get Alex's thoughts on that as well here on BBC Radio Humberside. Just away from the football, and I think it's worth just reminding you, if you just switched on, in the last 20 minutes or so, very sad news. It's been announced the death of Dolly Parton at the age of 80. We'll not obviously reflect that, but at the Late Show with Becky Wont will, and there'll be more on breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock. Very sad news this evening, the death of Dolly Parton. Let's return to the football and one of Hull City's new summer signings, Elliot Stroud, who's actually on the bench tonight against Stoke, maybe not likely to feature this evening unless things change, but he's already had a memorable year that most people could only dream about. He made his Premier League debut on Saturday, of course, in a historic win over Manchester United, but prior to joining the club, he had his first ever experience of playing at the World Cup for Sweden. He's been talking about that to Mike White.
It's been an unbelievable couple of months for me on a personal level, and also just around football and everything with it. It's been absolutely amazing, and I think I haven't really fully comprehended what I've been through so far, but yeah, really good.
We've all kicked a ball around on the local park as kids, pretending we played in the World Cup. You got to experience it. Give us an insight into what that experience was like.
It's bumpy, that's what it feels like when you're in Africa.
I think, like you mentioned, the biggest honor you can have for the players to play for your country in the World Cup, and to be able to just be there and then also play a lot of the games was amazing and something I'll take with me to the grave.
Did you get more games than you thought you might?
Yeah, I was happy just one appearance for the sub, but will be leading me, and after the last 2 games, and it was an amazing experience, and something I'll take with me, and to also a good boost for confidence.
How much is it giving you that motivation to be back there, the Euros, those kind of big games against the country?
Yeah, no, we a couple of guys in the national team said the first knockout stage game that we weren't ready to go home, so I think everybody has the same mindset now that we've been there and experienced it all, that we want to keep doing that and keep giving back to the people home in Sweden.
Alex Stroud speaking to Mike White. Let's bring in Alex Burgess at this point. Alex, we're still yet to see all of Hull City's new signs. You get to see the remainder of them, I guess, tonight. There'll be more, obviously, probably even by Saturday. You'd expect maybe one more in potentially. But what have you made of City's transfer business? It's interesting, isn't it, contrasting it with previous seasons. Steve Bruce, he went for trial and tested at the Premier League. There was maybe a little bit more of a scrabble in 2008, especially after Michael Turner left. But there seems to be a consistent theme about these signings.
Yeah, well, I think the club seem to be looking for value, which you can fully understand. And Elliot Stroud's an example, isn't he, of a player who's played top-flight football, but not necessarily, as I mentioned when we spoke earlier, James, in the Premier League. And you can say that about a number of the players that have come in. You've got players out there who've got, not all of them tonight, but certainly on Saturday, who've got Champions League experience and experience in Liga, in Serie A. Real top flight experience in good countries, not Premier League, but nevertheless. And young players who've got potential for now and potential for the future, and sell-ons and all the rest of it. It's all got to be part of the equation. And the football side of things and the business side of football as well, they are interlinked. You can't get away from it. But looking at them, it's hard to tell after one game. I saw the friendly, obviously worked the Nice game at home as well, but the friendly is a friendly, isn't it? A nil-nil friendly. It's all about fitness really for them. But hard to pick out too many standout moments for any of them, except as a team performance on Saturday was clearly exceptional. We'll look for that again tonight. It's a different team entirely, of course, I know that. Worth pointing out, James, as well, tonight's captain is Liam Miller, actually. He captains City tonight, which is an honour for him.
Yeah, one player I think, Swanee, for me that stood out, and you have to have a note of caution that he was the first game, and things can change rapidly in football, but the goalkeeper, Zalakis, was excellent, wasn't he, on Saturday? The both of you saw that, and I know, talking to Konstantinos Lianos, the Greek journalist, we've had him on this programme a couple of times in and around that signing, and he texted me on Saturday saying, basically, I told you so, by virtue of his performance, but he certainly caught the eye, didn't he, Swanee, on Saturday?
Yeah, and they don't come around often, do they, like goalkeepers? There's no point in having your 20-goal striker if you've got a keeper that's letting like simple shots and not coming for crosses, and it's important. Like I said, it's important as your striker. So yeah, like I said, what we saw with him the other day, it looks like obviously he's the one that, like I said, could be here for a while. I'm saying as a centre half as well, you know, you can trust the keeper that's behind you, that's going to come and take things from you, and that's the big thing which we said earlier, is the trust side of it. Like saying, if you can trust your keeper, you've got half a chance.
Alex, what impressed you about him on Saturday?
His presence. He exudes confidence. He looks cool and calm. Swanee will tell you better than me, but as a centre back or as a defender, I'm sure that's what you want, because he's coming for the ball, and you know he's coming and he's going to get it. His footwork was good, with the one exception of when he played the ball into the corner. Was it Ryan Giles who had to pick it up? I didn't like that so much, but that, you know, one little thing. But no, he just exudes confidence. He's big, he's physical, and you look at his record. I watched him for the first time live in that Nice game, the friendly a couple of weeks ago at the MKM, and I was sat with a couple of ex-players, and they were asking me about his stats, and honestly at that stage I didn't know, so I looked at his stats. He's not played that many games for Olympiacos, he really hasn't, and yet he's been capped 9 times in his country. He's only 23 years old, and that probably tells its own story. Just after I said that, he made that double save at the game against Nice, which was just magnificent, absolutely fantastic. And he's a big physical presence, and he's a confident presence. I will say, you know, just for what it's worth, pick up the new players. Hard to tell you one game for me, I have to say, but I agree with you about the goalkeeper, no arguments whatsoever. 2 players who particularly impressed me on Saturday were actually Matt Crooks and Regan Slater in the centre of the park. I thought they were both fantastic. Weren't they, you know what's off, and just did the job well. I thought they were wonderful.
We you talked about it when you were away from the microphone a few minutes ago, Alex, that was one of the impressive parts about it. The fact, and I go back to what Sergei Kirovich told me a couple of weeks ago, and he was very pointed about it, I think. In the midst of a lot of fan discussion around some of these players, are they League One players? Do they deserve the right to be in the Premier League, or are they right to start? Well, of course they deserve the right, but there is a lot of discussion around some of the supposed League One players in this team. But Sergei Kirovich was...
Yeah, sorry, all I'm just going to say to you there, whatever he says, I'm sure he's right, but all you've got to do is look at those players, Ryan France, Bo Myhill, Andy Dawson and the like, are missing one, who went from the bottom of the division and played in the Premier League and stood out well in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So you can do it. Not every player who plays Div 1 or Div 2 or Championship can play in the Premier League. That, of course, is true. But that's not to say that every player who plays that level can't play in the Premier League, because it's been proven time and again that they can. Loads of examples, actually loads of examples. Ashby's another great example, exactly, yeah, absolutely.
And the key, in 2008, we didn't have a lot of social media to discuss it, which was kind of helpful to some extent.
Probably was, yeah.
I guess one of the players to look out for tonight, not necessarily from the start, but is Hadarasa Murita. We are expecting to see him. He is a player that has actually been considered at Hull City, in Hull City's thoughts for a long time now. He was one that they targeted right at the start of the Admiral Agella era. They had to wait for him to leave one club and sign for Sporting. He had 4 years there and then he signed, but could be interesting seeing him later on and see what he will offer further down the line in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, I say there's a few that we're looking at, obviously, to come off the bench as well. Is that going to be regardless to the result? We'll have to wait and see. Going back to what we were saying though, about the players, it's actually, we've talked about new First Division and Championship players. I'm pleased that they've all been given the opportunity, not all of them yet, but the majority of them have been given the opportunity because they've worked hard to get there. And it had been so easy for the owner and the manager to say, right, clean sweep, let's get players in that can play in the Premier League. He got away with not taking away with it, but when you win 2 against Man United, all the theories and everyone put, but then players that's worked hard to get there have not let the manager down or the owner down.
And if you did
so pleased with that one.
If you did just let them go, Sonny, then you ruin the team spirit, don't you? Because what you're saying to them, you worked hard, you've given us everything, and then we're just going to bin you because we've got some new larkers from abroad who may or may not be any better.
Yeah, I bet a few fans would like to see that though. Do you know, to get better players in? But then a lot of the probably good percentage are thinking they deserve the chance. But if you get beat 4 or 5 nil against Man United, thinking we need a stronger team, we can't be having this every week. So I'm so pleased that the lads have played. And like I say, got the backing, like I say, the manager, and they've given him as much back.
Yeah.
And actually, it's easy. You contrast it with, say, Ipswich on Saturday. And I can't contrast it with the last game of last season and the game on Saturday. But I know from watching Match of the Day, they pretty much had jettisoned most of the team for many of their new signings. I think there's hardly any that started for Ipswich on Saturday that played in the Championship just a few months before. Sunderland did the same, and as you say, it is easy to do that because ultimately the rewards are at stake are so high. But it's kind of nice, isn't it, in this age of the significance of winning, the finances involved in winning, that City have stayed true to the core of that team.
Yeah, Alex hit the nail on the head there. It's like that one family, and they said they all stick together. But I say, if you get rid of all them, you're losing the massive part of what the owners and the manager have brought together in the last couple of years, last year or so. So that's the massive thing that we've done, or they've done, is to keep them and give them the opportunity.
Come back to you, we'll recap the team news in a moment's time. More from Swanee in a moment's time here on BBC Radio Humberside. Let me give you the fixtures for this evening. Some of the Premier League clubs don't enter at this stage because of the European football that so many clubs that are in this country playing European football this year, but there is a full programme and there are a couple of games that have already started. Norwich lead at Cardiff by 1-0. Doncaster Rovers and Middlesbrough has kicked off in the last minute or so, and that is goalless. Half an hour gone, by the way, in that game between Cardiff and Norwich City. Elsewhere in the League Cup tonight, Barnsley against Crewe, Blackburn against Sheffield United, Lincoln are at Blackpool, it's Cambridge at home to Millwall, Shrewsbury are at Fleetwood, Ipswich Town welcome Leicester City, Plymouth Argyle versus Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Southampton against West Ham in the game between a couple of what you'd normally associate with a couple of established Premier League clubs. They're both, of course, in the Championship now. Stevenage against Reading, Walsall home to Leyton Orient, Peterborough over Watford, and a couple of 8 o'clock games that see Birmingham take on Brentford, and Leeds United are at Nottingham Forest, which is exactly a repeat of that Premier League game that was played on Saturday evening to kick off the Premier League. BBC Radio Humberside Sport Live. We've got commentary of the Tigers. Kick-off is in just over 10 minutes' time. Just the one game for commentary tonight on Humberside Sport Live. It is Hull City at Stoke City in the second round of the League Cup. Let's quickly remind you of the team news headlines. The kick-off fast approaching. They come from Alex Burgess.
Just the 11 changes, James, for City, a completely new side. Dylan Phillips in goal for the Tigers. Cody Dramé will play at right back. Matt Targett at left back. Lucas Harrington and Paddy McNair, the central defensive two. Two holding midfielders as well. In Lucas Gunnar-Duath and Jens Jurtedal. Kieran Dowell ahead of them. Liam Miller captaining the side tonight with David Akintola and Abdush Irma front three. A smattering of players that were involved on Saturday on the bench, as well as one or two we haven't seen yet. And just a couple of notes in the Stoke team, James, as well. Ethan Galbraith, the player to look out for, signed in the summer. Fabulous player, saw him a couple of times last season playing for Swansea. And Zorba Thomas, who's the subject of a £7 million bid or similar from City, starts, maybe surprisingly, starts tonight. Maybe there'll be more to come on that, we shall see. We'll talk to the manager after the game. Maybe we'll bring you some more. Maybe we won't. Who knows? We'll bring you the commentary soon. City against Stoke at the 365.
Getting you closer to your club. To your club. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
Dean Holton on the way shortly. We've been talking about transfers, Alex and Swanee, before we hear from Dean Holton. One player whose name emerged yesterday is Ilyas Ansar. He's a very tall striker from currently playing at Union Berlin in the German Bundesliga. 6'4", 6'5". There seems to be a slight discrepancy around his height, but I'm told, if anyone who heard the interview yesterday, we talked to a German football journalist, that he's very good with the ball at feet and can play on either flank as well, despite his height, and would be certainly an option for cover for Ollie McBurney. How does that grab you? A big, rangy sort of athletic striker?
Going to be different, isn't it? Depending which foot he stands on, whether he's 6'4" or 6'5". I've done research on that. If he stands on his left, he's 6'4". So he's probably better coming in from the right hand side for crosses. If you want to know about that, that's how much research I do.
If you believe that, dear listener,
yeah, it'd be a different outlet, wouldn't it? But you're saying someone of that size, be a crouch. I mean, he was better with his feet than he was his head. But again, some of the sides of that, it gives you an outlet to. But we don't play like that at the moment. But I think bringing somebody in, a manager, if he wants to change things around, he's got opportunities then to do things because he's not scared of swapping and changing things around in the middle of games.
Alex, what about the last week or so? Because this time next week it is transfer deadline day. I must tell you, by the way, that we've got a transfer deadline special immediately after commentary next week. So I hope City do make some signings between 10 midnight. Otherwise, it will be a slightly quiet 2-hour show for me to present next Tuesday. But how many, in all honesty, how many signings and what do you feel is left to sort of complete the jigsaw, at least up to just after Christmas?
Well, yeah, it's a great question. Thanks for giving me that one, Jimmy. Yeah, we've had 11 so far. Well, I think that's the number so far. I think there are going to be some more. There's no question about that, and there'll be one or two more to go out, I suspect, as well, actually. But yeah, there'll be some more to come in. I think the striker is probably a fairly obvious one. Ollie McBurney did a fabulous job, and I'm sure he will do again, but he needs a bit of support. We talked earlier about it being that team game. You're needing a squad, and they certainly need that. So a big striker doesn't necessarily mean we're going to play route one. Ollie McBurney doesn't play route one necessarily, but he holds up the play and he bullies defenders, all the things he did fantastically well on Saturday. And another player to help him with that, or to replace him, or to use in a squad system from time to time. I'm sure City will be looking at that. And they're on the opportunities as well. They clearly want another winger or two. They've been linked to the view. Zorba Thomas, who's playing tonight for Stoke, is one. We know there are a number of others, so it wouldn't surprise you to see another winger or two coming in, quite frankly. I remember the chairman saying a while ago that he feels that wingers get injured a lot in the Championship. He had some stats on it, and therefore you need more wingers than you used to be able to because it's a more physical game. So I think that's one of the reasons why City prioritise wingers. So there's certainly one or two more they'll look at and try and bring in. And as I say, I think there'll be a few to go out as well. What the numbers are, James, honestly, how long's a piece of string?
As long as they can leave some between 10 and midnight next Tuesday, then we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll also cover, of course, any last-minute Grimsby Town dealings for you next week. Transfer special, I'm with you next week for that. Also the football beforehand. Now, Hull City assistant head coach Dean Holden's no stranger to tonight's opponent Stoke. He was second in command to then Potter's boss Michael O'Neill, and then took charge of one game as interim manager when O'Neill left the club. Stoke beat Oldham to get to the second round, but have since lost their opening 2 league games this year. We've been talking to Dean Holden ahead of kick-off.
Surprising, to be honest. Certainly that first game on Swansea. We've got some good players. We've just signed George Hurst last week. Look, Galbraith's will be a great signing, I think, as well. Top player in that in Championship level and maybe above. We expect them to come right at us, and we might make maybe less changes than he might have done without the 2 defeats. Who knows? Sometimes that can play into the mind. We wanted to get obviously a good result to get confident high. So we'll see. We don't know. We didn't know what's starting on United were going to come with that weekend, purely based on the amount of changes pre-season. And Stoke will be the same. I'm sure there'll be players that they want to get up to speed. As I say, your club will be chasing that first result. So always look forward to going back there. It's one of them clubs that's similar to this. Great people behind the scenes. Coach family, fantastic. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
The game's a game, but what's the challenge in terms of transitioning from a Premier League opponent, even if you maybe didn't get the Manchester United that some would expect, to then going into a Championship opponent in a cup game?
No, it's a game of football at the end of the day. It's another challenge for us. Every team's got their own strengths, and every team's obviously got their own frailties as well. So I thought the game plan of the weekend was set for the players. They've got to go and activate that, and I thought we did it really, really well. Execute it, probably should say. And they did that really well on the day. And it'll be the same again. Expect Stoke to be up there this season. They've got a really good squad. They've got a bit of experience in there as well. So we won't be a game that we'll be taking lightly for sure.
Do you want your players to relish the position they're in of being a bit of a target of being a scalp in a competition like this? Can you almost thrive on something like that?
I think for us it's about winning the next game. I'm sure Sergei will have Coventry in the back of his mind for sure, but all the talk is about Stoke. It's an important game for us. Touched on before where our priorities lie really in terms of the bigger picture, but this is the next game, and the players desperate to come in, that need minutes, and want to show not only their teammates and our fans, but Sergei and the rest of the staff what they're made of. And obviously we want to try and keep a winning run going if we can.
What did your time there do for you?
It was a fantastic experience. First of all, the club was in a difficult position. Working alongside Michael O'Neill for that period was fantastic for my learning. From a tactical point of view, he's been a top manager internationally. So yeah, it's a huge club. It just we were in a position of really, I suppose, the club was trying to get the bigger salaries and trying to offload some players who were on big contracts and trying to sort of realign the squad. And the sad thing is we probably never really got the chance to do that towards the end. So take it on the chin, you end up losing your job in sometimes in difficult circumstances. But again, I've got total respect for the people there. I got the one game after Michael left. We went and beat Blackburn. I don't think we won for 9-10 games, and I thought at that point maybe there might have been an extended opportunity. But unbeknownst to me, Alex Neil was up in the stand and the deal had been done for him to come in. So I had a conversation, it was well reported at the time, that apparently I got sacked on the pitch after that game at Ewood. It wasn't the second at all. It was John Coates saying that Alex wanted to bring his own staff. And for that reason, obviously, I was going to be leaving the club. But John did it in a way which I really respected. He came and knocked on the dressing room door after the game. I've just done a debrief for the players, and took me outside and looked me in the eye and explained it. So that's not always been the case in the career, I'll be honest with you, so that's why there's so much respect there.
Dean Holden, and anyone that saw his appearance on Match of the Day on BBC One on Sunday night will know how much he's looking forward to his return to Stoke today. He talked about it on Sunday evening. Just the one British team involved in the Champions League playoff zones tonight, and that is Celtic. They kick off against LASK at 8 o'clock our time. No changes in the games already underway in the League Cup second round tonight, which means that Norwich still lead at Cardiff by a goal to nil. About 5 minutes to go in that game before half time, and it's goalless between Doncaster and Middlesbrough. The game we're focusing on, Hull City park the Premier League for a few days. It's about the League Cup action tonight, second round away at Stoke. We are less than 5 minutes from kick-off.
Get the latest on the Tigers, the Mariners and the Iron.
What's it been like for you since arriving at the club? South afternoon, how would you describe that?
What does that feel like?
If you ask me how much my players have salary, I don't know. And I don't really care. This is not my part of the job.
It's a bigger stadium, it's more fans, so it's just everything needs to be bigger.
Something that I've targeted this year, getting a few more goals.
We gave them very little. There's still punches to work on. I'm really looking forward to playing in the last 2 years. I always work in my life following my feelings, atmosphere, people, stadium. So I love the meeting. So my heart was there, so I went for it.
Search for your club on BBC Sounds and hit subscribe.
To get the latest on Hull City, click subscribe on BBC Sounds.
So the Premier League can wait for a few days. That's not till Saturday when Hull City travel to Coventry. Can they make it past the second round of the League Cup? The last time they got to the third round, well, it was back in the days when mask wearing and social distancing had suddenly become a thing. At the very start of COVID, when City got to the third round and were beaten by West Ham. Can they change that record tonight? We're about to find out. Coventry on all frequencies, not online this evening. Your Coventry team is former record signing Swanee alongside Alex Burgess at Stoke City.
Thank you, James. Welcome to the Bet365 here in Stoke. It's been a beautiful evening, quite honestly. Not often you can say that coming to Stoke. The cliches are all true. Usually it's raining, usually it's freezing, but tonight it's been quite pleasant. Incredibly windy. Not sure if that's translated down pitch side. We're right at the very top of the main stand. Could hardly be any higher, just one row below us. So a real bird's eye view, just about on halfway, as we look down onto what is, at this stage of the season, as you'd expect, an immaculate pitch. An empty stand away to our right-hand side, a half-full one opposite, and a half-full one to our left-hand side as well. It's not just me, one of my fellow commentators, their notes just went flying through the wind as well and disappeared. City fans are here in force in the corner away to our right-hand side, in between the Tower Mountain stand and the Drayton Beaumont Group stand, if you happen to know those two stands here, if you know the stadium. I'm told there are 1,200 City fans here tonight. I was told that by Simon King, who I was chatting to earlier, former commercial manager at Hull City, who's now the chief operating officer here at Stoke. He was very impressed about the number coming from City tonight. It's not going to be a big crowd overall, but I tell you what, the atmosphere is not bad. They're getting the things going with the music, and there's plenty of noise around, and the teams around the pitch are going to get underway shortly.
I'll feel a bit quiet when you're around, Alex.
Well, indeed, yeah. I'm going to ask you what you're expecting in a minute, but I'll run through both teams in a second, because City, who are playing in amber and black, the first choice kit will play from right to left as we look down in this first half. It's David Akintola who strike the first ball for City. I'll give you both teams in just a second. John Busby's our referee tonight. He'll get us underway. A check of the watch, another check of the watch, and away we go. Akintola lays it all the way back to Dylan Phillips. 11 changes for City tonight. Lots of changes for Stoke as well, as Phillips launches forward. Zorba Thomas with his first touch of the game, and now Ethan Galbraith. All this just inside Stoke territory, and Stoke trying to break quickly. A brisk start of the game. Over to this right-hand side now, though, and Ben Johnson, a summer signing, has possession. Has to be forced back there to Pearson. Another Ben Pearson in centre field, and all the way back to Will Mott, the Stoke captain, and all the way across the back line now, and forward towards the target man that is Bosnick, the main striker. But a loose ball forward from Stoke, and it's all the way through to Phillips, who starts in goal for City. The back four for the Tigers: Matt Targett, Lucas Harrington, Paddy McNair and Cody Dramé. Two holding midfielders in Lucas Gorna-Duat and Jens Jurtedal. Kieran Dowell ahead of them. And three up top. Liam Miller, the captain tonight, David Akintola and Abdush Irma. That's the team as I was given earlier. Swanee will tell me if we've got that right in a few minutes' time. The bench for City worthy of note. Konstantinos Stolakis, the number one goalkeeper at the club, is on the bench. Ryan Giles, Hidemasa Morita, Mohamed Baloumi, John Egan, Elliot Stroud, Regan Slater, Nobel Mendy and Tyrell Sellers. Fleming, the bench for City. I'll give you the Stoke team in just a second, as Harrington has possession just outside of the City penalty area to McNair, the former Man United and Sunderland man, among others, to Harrington again, and forward by him, and a little cushioned header for Dowell. The ball from Harrington a little heavy, with the Aussie though, and all the way back to the goalkeeper again as Phillips hits a long high ball into the not quite darkening sky, but the floodlights are on, they need to be. And Jana at left back will just clear things up in patio play back. That's a loose ball at the edge of the area, which almost saw Liam Miller get onto the end of it. It was a poor ball from Luke Graham for Stoke, but they got away with that. Up to this right side, and Johnson again, just shy of halfway. Miller's just holding him up, and it's had to be laid back to the captain Wilmot once more. And Galbraith will just drop deep and pick up possession. Really good player, Ethan Galbraith, Northern Ireland national, one of those you think probably could make the step up to the Premier League, but he's joined Stoke this summer. Here's Pearson. And Graham again, and out to that left flank, and a bright start initially, just slowed down a little bit. Let me give you that Stoke team. For what it's worth, Josh Griffiths in goal, Losh Jarnett, Luke Graham, Ben Wilmot, and Ben Johnson across the back line. As Galbraith picks up possession again, it's over Thomas, edge of the City penalty area, shapes to shoot, changed his mind, back onto his right foot, just touches it back to Jarni again. It's Zorba Thomas, angle of the box, left-hand side, the Stoke left-hand side, crosses in, is a deep ball in, arriving at the far post. Well, couldn't arrive quickly enough. Thomas Vigo, and I think it came off him last. Yes, it did. It'll go out for a goal kick for City. So the rest of that Stoke team, Ethan Galbraith, Thomas Rigo, and Ben Pearson across midfield. Zorba Thomas and one blank Million Manher, the magnificently named winger on this right-hand side. Robert Bosnick, the striker. The bench, Frank Fielding, former England under-21 international, actually played at City's ground in that under-21 game a few years back. Bejo and Ho. George Hurst, son of David, the Sheffield Wednesday legend, just signed in the summer from Ipswich, Bosun Lowell. Sam Gallagher, big central striker. Jibus Samare, Freddie Anderson, Tyler Martin, and Gabriel Kelly. Those are your teams. We've played for 4 minutes, live on BBC Radio Humberside. No goals so far in this Carabao Cup or EFL Cup second round tie. Here at the bed, 3-6-5. Peter Swan is our match summariser tonight.
Yeah, they're both finding their feet, and I've just seen Manher. Is that when you?
Yeah, it's Manher. Yeah.
Showed great footwork there between the two of our players there. And then let's say his first thought was, can he get on the attack? So he's a player playing down the right hand side. We've got to be careful of, and they took a quick one there. That was quicker than I expected.
Yeah, referee's not happy about something, not quite sure what, but it's going to have to be taken again.
It's one of the balls obviously on the bollard, on the corner, I should say, next to where the ball went out.
Okay.
The lads went to chase it off the field. Two players off the field took a quick one. They brought it back. I thought he was allowed to do that.
Yeah, maybe he thought it was from the wrong position. Anyway, taken again, and there'll be another throw again. Johnson will take. A throw to Galbraith, who you'll hear me mention a lot because he's always at the centre of everything. Ethan Galbraith, he's just one of those players who pops up, always.
He loves football. You can just one of the sort of players that loves football. Like I say, when he leaves here and that, whatever, you just imagine him going to play with his kids in the street. He just wants the ball all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, absolutely. It's back with McNair for City, midway inside Tigers territory, and up to Matt Targett, the experienced left back that City signed during the summer, 30 years old now, lots of Premier League experience at a number of clubs, including Newcastle. And Cody Dramé on the far side, now to Harrington, infield again to the keeper, just inside his 6-yard area actually. And McNair on this left side, closed down quickly though. Did that go to the play? Yes, it did. And came off Rigo in the end.
Coming from Saturday into today's game, already 5 minutes in, you just see the slowness of the game.
Yeah.
From Saturday, how sharp and quick, and that's how quick they move the ball, especially yourselves. Great footwork.
Absolutely. Phillips almost put Lucas Gordon-Duath in a bit of trouble, but wonderful play from him. And City stride forward, and Akintola just inside the area is going to get a shot. Keeper spills it, not much on the shot. Keeper gathers at the second attempt. Griffiths almost made a mistake there. Well, he did make a mistake. It wasn't punished in the end. The shot from Akintola lacked power. I thought the flag might go up, but it didn't. Looked suspiciously offside, but nothing given. But Lucas Gornot-Duat with some silky skills in centre field. That was something to see, and if that's the quality he's got, Swanee, I look forward to seeing more of him.
That was great football, wasn't it?
It was.
The way he moved, let's say, carrying the ball, and the pass with perfection, really, for Akintola. And you can see probably why Akintola's been struggling. That was a big chance there to have another touch to get closer, to get a better strike on goal, because he'd made it. His timing of his run was perfect. Probably just a bit too far out on the right side, but that far past the defender, he could have had a touch further in and bent it in with his left foot. But I think he just panicked, just trying to get the shot away and make sure of that, rather than having a bit of belief and knowing what's in and around him there. For me, he had an opportunity. It's a great ball put through for him.
Nice combination between Target and Gornot-Duat, and then into the feet of Akintola, whose foul challenge from behind. Busby, the referee, gives the free kick City's way, just inside Stoke territory. Sergei Yakirovich down below us in tracky kit tonight with a hooded top.
I'd say as late as it in his softies.
In his, isn't it? Yes.
Is it his softies? It's going to go on sofa in his softies. That's what it looks like. No slippers on, that's all.
He obviously knew what it was going to be like in Stoke a bit later in the evening. Mark Robbins is opposite number in t-shirt and jogging bottoms. Former Coventry, Barnsley, Rotherham, and notably Scunthorpe United manager, of course, from our region, Mark Robbins. He is the man entrusted to get this famous old club back to the Premier League, which is where they clearly want to be. They spent a fortune over the years trying to get there, and as I mentioned in the intro, haven't been there since the 17-18 season when they were relegated. They have the financial clout to do it. They haven't managed to do it on the pitch for whatever reason over the last few years. City have. And they're relishing it as per the game on Saturday. Although we probably shouldn't get too carried away with that. It's one game. That's what the manager would say, I'm sure. And probably the most ardent fan would say in real terms, Swanee, you have to put it in perspective. It's just the one game, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Oops, where is it?
Was that a mistake or just a late challenge? I'm not quite sure.
It was a mistake, then it came to a late challenge, but he got back to his feet. Two big centre midfield players there, Duaf and Dar.
Yes.
6 forward.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. Long ball forward, Akintola looking for that, but just a cushioned header back to Luke Graham. Here's Graham again, receiving the ball from his goalkeeper out to the left flank, and you're absolutely right, Swanee, it's just a bit slow, isn't it, from both sides in the early exchanges.
We're 2 games in and we feel spoiled already.
I know.
No way.
There's probably something in that, yeah.
Are we football snobs are?
Maybe.
Because now we're in Prem.
I didn't know we were, but maybe we are. Maybe we are. It's not really a criticism, it's just it's an honest observation, isn't it?
I don't want to be watching this all season, do you?
No, I'll give you that, no, I don't.
We want to be quicker, passing movements, like we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, Stoke were trying to do that.
Here we go,
couldn't find it. Target intercept and plays Miller down the left-hand side. This is pace from City, this is pace from Miller, the Tigers captain tonight. The cross, not great though, wasn't a great clearance either. Dowell tries to get underneath it, can't do so. Shuttle coming, just touched away. Jens Hertedal with an excellent strike right footed. You could see what he was trying to do, just curl it away from the goalkeeper. Keeper was equal to it. Corner conceded, the first of the game, and it goes City's way. 10 minutes into the game, 0-0.
Yeah, first time they move the ball quicker. As we speak in there, the ball gets out to Miller. Picks his fullback, not the best ball in, but when it drops, you're expecting players to be on the second ball, and then Dowell gets into it. See where right behind is trying to just curl it into that right corner, and keeper at full stretch puts out for a corner.
From the City right-hand side, it's a bit of a daisy cutter towards the near post. It's a little routine, playing this back to Yen Yertadal. Cross will come in once more from Dowell, and headed away. Not a great clearance, quite honestly. Yen Yertadal, almost another chance. A chance for Akintola, gets a shot away. It's blocked though, and maybe Stoke could come away with it with Million Manher if he can. He plays it through to Zorba Thomas. The pass is poor though. Thomas is not happy with that and has a look towards Million Manher, which was not a happy one. And the danger passes for City, but there was danger, an opportunity for City at the other end.
There was, yeah, both sides there, opportunities. Akintola got a great strike away, caught this one perfect, got the block on it, but as soon as they broke, and there was a foot race between Thomas and Drame, there was only one winner in Drame.
Yeah.
I think he were hoping he were going to get the ball put through, because, like I say, it just changed gear there.
Yeah, he's got some pace. His Drame is a proper athlete. He really is as fit as and quick to boot as well. Here's Harrington out towards that right side. Abdul Sherman hasn't seen hardly anything at all. I don't think I've hardly mentioned him actually. A little touch under there, nice control. Most of the ball perhaps on this side of the pitch, thinking about it. It's back with McNair and Harrington, the central defensive two for City tonight. And Target, just in front of the dugouts here at the Bet365. The ball into the feet of Miller wasn't well controlled by the City captain tonight. Just finds Manhurst with the miscontrol, or the combination between him and Johnson, the former West Ham man. Manhurst back into centre field, and the centre back Graham into the feet of Thomas, laid back to Jana, the left full-back. Stoke broadly playing a 4-3-3 system. Here's Johnson again. Here's Manhurst on halfway. Into the feet of Rigo, back with Johnson again. Patient build-up, you could call it, or as we did already, slow.
There's a difference, right, in the Premier League.
Difference
in what in one game, but you can just see the sharpness of it.
Difference in intensity in the game, perhaps one as well, in terms of it's a Tuesday night, there's not a big crowd, there's not quite the expectation. It is, with all due respect, the EFL Cup, not the Premier League. All factors into the equation, trying to be nice to everybody. Long hit forward
and the sponsors.
Stoke keeper, indeed. Stoke keeper, it's Griffiths, who just hit long, and McNair will tidy up at the back and clear away, but it's Stoke who have possession again with Zorba Thomas on that far side. The Stoke left, he is, plays it infield to Manhurst. Stoke just giving the ball away almost, and then the chase after that. There was a loose pass actually from Ethan Galbraith of all, it was Ben Pearson in fact, and Miller couldn't quite get on the end of it, but it's Stoke who have possession back again with Manhurst. This 30 yards from goal. Diagonal ball into the box, who was looking for Zorba Thomas, but it was a poor ball from him over the top of the Stoke winger. Maybe a City winger, as in Hull City winger in days to come.
I'd be happy with that, would you?
Yeah.
I've seen him on a few occasions.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing
a lot about him.
Huddersfield actually a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, a lot about him as a lad.
Yeah, went abroad, came back to Stoke. Yeah, he's got something. A £7 million bid or thereabouts apparently was made by City. Stoke said they wanted more. We'll see whether they get more. Maybe a slight surprise that he's playing tonight. It's one who might suggest that that deal might not happen. But they didn't have to play him tonight, did they, in a game of this magnitude? But they chose to.
How many changes Stoke? Yeah, sorry.
Lots.
So you don't know?
No, yeah, he didn't hear because I didn't tell you because I don't know. Because a bit like you said earlier, I don't really care, to be honest with you.
Because your notes are down on the notes about down there.
Yeah, my notes are getting
doing that all the way. I saw it.
Here's Thomas again. Loses the ball, trying to almost nutmeg the City defender, I think, and there you go. Corner to Ath again, tidying things up, nice and simple. Look at him so far. It's back with Dylan Phillips and McNair. Upfield, poor ball from McNair though. He was looking for Yurtadal, didn't find him, only found a red and white striped shirt, and now it's in the form of Johnson. And Rigo again. And Manhurst. Galbraith wanted it infield, didn't get it. Little 1-2 with Rigo and Johnson. Now it's Manhurst again. Angle of the box. So right hand side trying to play it into Galbraith, but read and intercepted by Kieran Dell. Good play from him. Yurtadal again. And to his fellow central defensive midfielder, Corner Duat. And out to Drame, who's running at the defender. Still Cody Drame, trying to go around the outside of him. Does go around the outside of him, tries to get the cross, and it's blocked though. Throwing for City far side. 10 yards out from the Tigers byline. Drame will take. Wanted to take it early. No options for him.
Duath and Dahl again there, linking up, getting the ball out. They're same with the pace with Drame. The fullback just kept dropping off, and giving him space to play him. Should have done better, get Drame there.
Yeah, should have got the cross in, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they just stood up in 5 yards.
Yeah.
And ended up kicking the ball against him.
Why is that, Swanee? Is that a bit of a lack of confidence, or just a bit of early season stuff, or what?
Seeing the game, that's what it is. Like I said, if you can see the game and gets himself in them positions, you expect to see, you look and thinking the levels he's played at, should be doing better. But it's a consistency as well. They've got to pick the right pass at the right time, and that's what makes them better players and play at high levels.
Stoke breaking down the right-hand side. Here's Johnson, paced by Matt Target, plays it inside to Manherb, inside the box. Look the ball into Rigo. Shot comes in from Galbraith. He's blocked by Harrington. Dowell has it, lays it back to Harrington. Thanks for that, mate. Gives it to Abdi Sherma. All this on the edge of the City penalty area. The Tigers trying to mop things up, and Harrington just lays it back again to Dylan Phillips, and cool, calm and collected from the goalkeeper out to Target. Similar from him. Corner to Ath. Into the feet of Dowell now in the centre circle. He's got options from Irma right-hand side. Akitola ahead of him. Chooses Miller on this left-hand side though. Edge of the penalty area. Liam Miller. Here to Dahl with a shot. Gets blocked just inside the area. The fall for Drame. Short ball into corner to Ash. And back out to Drame on that right-hand side. He's got space ahead of him as well. Looking to get the crossing. Does so this time. No air to that one though. Cleared away easily. And helped on, but only helped on as far as Drame again. And now it goes back to Harrington and square to McNair. Not a great ball in from Drame. It had the space again, but
City, exactly cool.
City work it out to Miller on this near side again. He was target Akintola. He's dispossessed in the area, and Stoke will bring it away, but not for long because it's picked up again by Target. Corner to Ath, and Abdu Sherman. Abdu Sherman, left-footed strike. He gets a score for City. He won't do so with shots like that, I'm sorry, but he won't. Goal kick for Tigers. Peters one.
Build up play down the left.
To Stoke, I beg your pardon.
Build up play down the left. Target just showed the difference in the quality there, getting the cross in. Came to Akintola, not the best touch, which should have been I've seen like Oliver Burney have had a touch and let the ball come across his body there, have a slight touch and then get the strike on goal with his back to goal where Akintola seemed to trip over his feet, but a great play down this left-hand side by Target.
Ian Geertedal and Lucas Corner to Ath, possibly the two standout players in these early exchanges for City. Geertedal, 20 years old, Norway under 21 international. 104 caps of that. Spent time at Tromsø. 8 million quid it tells me here that City paid for him. Lots of these fees undisclosed, so only slightly guessing that. Going to do 23 years old. Played at international level for several age groups up to 21s for France. And some nice touches from him early in the game. Some from Salzburg. Spent time with another one of those players, as did Geertedal, spent time, as I was saying earlier this morning, in top divisions in other countries, where City have taken maybe a bit of a chance or seen an opportunity or seen some quality and think they can bring it to the Premier League. So far, those two in the first 20 minutes with no goals, but a shot from Geertedal, which was well saved by the goalkeeper, and a couple of nice bits of skill from Corner to Ath, the pick of the City players perhaps so far, I suggest, won't it?
I think easy. Looks an athlete, very rangy, and he moves forward. And it looks comfortable to pick the ball.
Now, this is training game a little bit-ish, isn't it? That was a bit slow from McNair and Harrington. They got themselves almost into a bit of trouble. They're back to Phillips. Maybe they were just not the option ahead of them, in fairness to them. But a slow build-up, it has to be said. And into the feet of Miller was not the best time. His touch is there. Yeah. Two or three times now, he's just not being able to control the ball, really. He's much better than that, there's no question, but not quite happening for the City captain for the night, so far at least. Here's Manher for Stoke. He's spaced by Miller, but skips around him. He gets away from Geertedal as well. Akintola is busy though and gets a foot in. Well done, David Akintola. Excellent football from him, and Geertedal will find Miller, who chases down his left-hand side, trying to get away from Manher, and well, Miller felt he was fouled, and I think he might have had a point, to be honest. Manher can't bring it over, and he fell on top of him, really.
Do it again. Let's do it again. Come on.
weekend, that's for sure. Here's Abdush Irma. And now Trame. Opportunity to cross once more for Trame. Again, not a great ball, to be honest.
Is it the first defender?
Yeah.
3 times on 3 crosses, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And Stoke have it again with Tomas Rigo in centre field. Peroxide blonde. Natural or not, I don't know. Doesn't look it from here. And Graham on those 2 centre backs just loops it forward, frankly. Bosnick, the striker, couldn't control it. Fans thought it was fouled by Dowell. Fans thought differently. Bosnick has a little bit of rough and tumble with Gunnar Duath and ends up conceding the free kick, and he's unhappy with the referee, as are the Stoke City fans. That might be the most exciting thing that's happened in the game so far.
I think the refs letting a lot go. And I think this season possibly could be like that as well. They're not stopping every little touch or niggle or people falling to ground. On that occasion, Duath fell on the ball and handballed it, and even let it play on them. Then he brought it back for the free kick on him, I believe.
Yeah, that is.
That's never 10 yards either. He just steps there. Someone's fastened his laces together, right? About 7 yards away from you.
Free kick for City. Midway inside Stoke territory, way to the Tigers' right-hand side. It's Paddy McNair who's going to take this one. Miller's taken a position inside the 18-yard area. He'll need to come out of there because he'll be offside otherwise. Just so now, ball is delivered towards the far post. So Stoke head on it, and it was Bosnick, and he gets a second effort on it as well, and it's cleared away by Manhurst. Only as far as target though for City. And now Miller on this left-hand side, just in line with the edge of the Stoke penalty area. It's a decent ball in, almost came to Akintola. Good head, just a little touch on it from Luke Gray, needed to be as well. Akintola arriving right behind him, goes out for a throw far side, taken quickly by Trame. A little 1-2 with Gorman Duath, and then all the way back to McNair, almost on halfway, and now Harrington wearing 22 tonight for City, and out to Liam Miller, mistake by Johnson, the defender. Miller into the box for City, still going. Liam Miller gets across it, takes a deflection off not 1 but 2 defenders. The second being Graham, and it's behind goal, but a corner kick for City, the second of the night. Can they do better with this one? 24 minutes played, no goals in this EFL Cup tie. Live at BBC Radio Humberside, not online, but on all of our frequencies otherwise. To do with the goal, it'd be nice to see City get one.
Great opportunity there when Miller went through. He puts his head, lifts his head up there, he's got down and just stood still waiting for the ball to be played back for him.
Here is Liam Miller then, raises a right hand as a signal, right-footed ball towards the far post from this corner kick. Keeper goes for it, didn't quite get there. McNair at the far post gets a header in, can't keep it down, puts his head in his hands. It's a goal kick for Stoke City. And that's a decent ball in.
It was a great ball in, wasn't it? I think he rushed the header, to be fair. I think he got close to the defender. If he steps back a bit, he's headed into an empty net.
Yeah, he was being pushed away by, it was Zoba Thomas actually, who was holding him up, and he was holding him up, did just enough, and McNair just couldn't really get over the top of it. And it was not a blatant chance, not a glaring chance, but a half chance certainly. As Harrington just shepherded, Trame shepherded the ball back to his goalkeeper Phillips. In goal tonight, Solakis on the bench. Not too many options for City goalkeeping wise. Harvey Cartwright, who's gone out on loan, is injured anyway. He's gone out on loan to Grimsby. Tim Lowe Tatala's on loan for the season as well. Dylan Phillips very much the number 2 for the moment. Of course, Jack Putland signed in the summer.
Quick free throwing again. We're switching off when the ball goes out. Yeah. We're forgetting about the balls around the field.
Indeed, very much the case. Yeah, Jack Butland, of course, injured, unfortunately, out until likely December, Christmas time, or thereabouts, for the other senior goalkeeper on City's books this season. Injuries, things you can't legislate for at any level of football, but certainly at this level. That's a shocking ball out from Luke Graham, and that, am I allowed to say that sums up the game so far? It probably does.
Yeah, it has been, yeah. It's a game of mistakes, really, isn't it?
There's another one. Yeah, Trame gives the ball away, but Gorman Duath did enough, thought he'd won it back, but it was a foul. The ironic jeers from the home crowd tell you that they thought of it. And John Busby, our referee, gives the decision Stoke's way, and it's a dangerous position as well, actually. 10 yards or so out from the City penalty area, not even that perhaps. Left side, just the angle of the box, left-hand side, 10, 12 yards out from there. And all players of both sides in the Tigers half, save the Stoke goalkeeper. And this is going to be whipped in by Manherb, I think, on his left foot. And there's danger here potentially for City. It is a left-footed ball and it's an absolute shocker, and it's easily headed away by Cody Drame, but picked up by a red and white shirt in the form of Pearson. Now to Zoba Thomas, who's taken a position on this right flank. He'll try and go around Target. Target gets the challenge in, but at the expense of a corner kick, which will go Stoke City's way. And you're absolutely right what you spotted from it. Zoba Thomas was doing that again, just taking the ball immediately off the cones and just trying to hurry things up and catch City out. I think it's a bit of a tactic for Stoke.
Well, we're not switched onto it.
No. I don't think Manherb was switched onto it this time, because it took a bit longer to come over than I think Thomas wanted. But anyway, it is a corner kick for Stoke City. And Manherb will take from the Stoke right-hand side. It'll be another left-footed in swinger towards the near post, headed away by McNair for City. Chested back out to Manherb though. And Manherb on the edge of the box is forced out by a combination of Abdou Sherma and David Akintola. One play, those two, and battling and harrying and annoying in a good way from a Hull City perspective. And now it's with Miller, an infield to Yurtadal, who just controls it, cool, calm, collected, nice and easy, gives it to Harrington. Another big money signing for City. And McNair has got all the experience in the world at top level, abroad, at lower level. In the twilight of his career, but a great experienced player to have available. Phillips, left-footed strike forward from him. No City player around it though. Going to have just a little shove off the ball really, and allowed him to get the ball. Referee either didn't see it or didn't think it was a free kick. Just strength, that's one I think from him, wasn't it, as much as anything else. And having the gumption to do it. Here's Miller for City. What can he create on this left-hand side? Goes around Johnson recovered though, picked up by Abdou Sherma. He's 25-30 years out, thought about the shot, tried the shot, took too long over it, was blocked easily in the end, and it's picked up by Rigo, and he'll try and set Manherb free, and Abdou Sherma is after him, tries to pull him back, can't do so. Forward, Thomas on that left-hand side, Zoba Thomas, angle of the box, left-hand side for Stoke City, goes around Drame, left-footed from Zoba Thomas, all the way across goal, doesn't hit anybody, and goes out play on this near side off a City player last, because it's a Stoke City throw-in. Ben Johnson will take it quickly to Rigo, and does so. Back with the thrower Johnson on this near touchline, gets a left-footed ball in. It misses a couple of City players, and Stoke have it again on the edge of the area with Manherb. What can he do with this? Plays it square to Gianni, and now Zoba Thomas on the edge of the area. It goes one way and then the other. Absolutely does Cody Drame. Manherb again on the edge of the area, left-footed. Thought about the shot, that was blocked and closed down by Jens Yurtadal rather, and good defending from him. Stoke though still have it with Manherb once more. Little 1-2 with Johnson. Manherb is on this near side. He hasn't got a right foot, turns it onto his left. Looks to cross, does cross. It's a deep ball, and Bosnick got a touch to it, but not much more than that. It falls for Zoba Thomas. Not great defending again for City. Headed skyward inside the City penalty area. Dowell looked like he got a bit of a shove inside the box. Nothing given by the referee. It's bouncing around, and Harrington now hacked it away. And there was danger there for City, and there might yet still be, because Luke Crane stops it going out of play. He'll just play a short ball to the experienced Pearson, and now the captain Wilmot. This inside the centre circle. Rigo now for Stoke City, out to the right flank. He misses out Johnson, and it's picked up by Manherb, who's seen plenty of the ball in the last few minutes. Just a short ball inside to Johnson again, and the pace of the attack has gone. And City have all the players in the right place. He's back behind the ball, but it goes to that man, Zoba Thomas again, onto his right foot, gets across a little flick, it goes wide. It was a little flick, it went wide, but Rigo was not far away, and I'm not sure that Dylan Phillips would have known a great deal about it.
Not at all, no. A lot of excitement in the last 2 minutes, but not much quality. Was I said mistakes being made defensively, attacking, getting areas, playing it against defenders' legs, but the one player that is standing out for them is the player that we're looking to purchase, and all he's doing is just putting his price tag up, play like this.
He is head and shoulders above, isn't he, for Stoke, Zoba Thomas. No question about that, wearing number 7, playing on that left wing, switched to the right a moment ago when the corner was taken, but other than that he's hung out to that left hand side, as he's been the danger man without a shadow of a doubt for Stoke City tonight. Maybe he's playing for a move. Who knows what goes on in footballers' minds, Swanee? You know better than me.
Yeah, he is.
Possibly is. Stoke, who've seen more of the ball in the last few minutes. 31 minutes played, almost 32 minutes played. Still no goals in this game. It's EFL Cup tie, second round game here at the Metro Stadium. Stoke 0, Hull City 0. And that ball played through, wasn't it? It surely has to be offside. This one, he says he is. And the flag goes up a little belatedly perhaps. But it is a free kick for City. Just getting a couple of phone calls. Well, it never seems to amaze me when friends know you're actually on the radio and still trying to ring. What's that all about? No idea. He was a Stoke fan as well, so he can go and do one.
No reason why. Tell him that you look silly, Alex. But
yeah.
You do that well enough yourself.
I can, yeah. I don't need a help for that. Free kick for City. Just inside, inside their own penalty area. Dylan Phillips will take. He's got options short for Harrington and McNair, but tells them he's going to hit it long, so they trot forward. And Dylan Phillips launches forward, long hit forward, and Yurtadal tried to get underneath it, couldn't quite do so. Headed forward by Stoke, and Drame, he knows he's in the game as Cody Drame. You could just see, not quite panic, but awareness that Zorba Thomas was right behind him. Did well enough in the end to work it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, but Thomas, last couple of occasions, I'd say he's winning the battle at the moment between them two. Like I say, a couple of occasions he's managed to do it for pace. On one occasion, other time he didn't do it for pace, he just got the distance right from him and whipped the ball around him. That's what good wingers is all about. You don't have to beat your fullback at times, but it's shown that with Thomas. He's got a lot of power on him.
He has, yeah, he really has. He's having a good game tonight over Thomas. City, who, if you are just joining, is 11 changes.
Manhoof as well. Manhoof and 2 from Stoke.
Yeah, he's been here a little while now, Million Manhoof. He's not always a regular, hence him playing tonight, although Zorba Thomas is playing tonight, which, as I say, intrigues me. But anyway, loose ball there from the captain, and City might be able to capitalise. Either after shown on the edge of the area, plays it forward to Akintola. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Akintola was offside. It was a poor ball from Irma, and there's a poor run from Akintola, and the upshot is that Stoke come forward with Galbraith, and it's that man Thomas again. He's running at Drame once more, gets on the outside and gets the crossing, target comes across, good defending from him, but Galbraith on the edge of the area, it almost looked like he was going to be fouled by Dowell. Then he wasn't fouled by Gordon Duarte. Yes, he went down, could have got a yellow card for that, to be honest. That was poor from Galbraith, no foul there whatsoever. But
it comes to our feet, how quickly could it be again? Where's it come from? Thomas down the left hand side, beating Drame, and he come against him.
That's him again. Great round in against past him. Zorba Thomas tries a shot this time. Did that come off the post or off the goalkeeper, or a bit of both? I'm not sure from this angle. But Zorba Thomas is causing City all sorts of problems, and Cody Drame is having a torrid night out on that right side.
He is, isn't it? Like I said, Thomas on that occasion, I think he's fed up of playing crosses into the box. Nothing coming at the end of it. He's still having a shot himself on this occasion. I think it was just a good, big, strong arm there by Phillips that kept the ball out. But I say, whichever way it seems to go, it's got the best of it.
Yeah. Just looking at a replay of this actually, and still, I think it probably was the hand, still not conclusive. Camera didn't quite catch up with it, but anyway. City clear forward. With McNair runs that ball out of play though. It'll be throwing for Stoke on this near side. Mark Robbins, Sergei Kirovic, the respective managers down below us. No goals as half-time is only 10 minutes or a little less away. And Stoke City have possession. And will almost get it again into the feet of Galbraith. Did well enough though. Gianni on that right-hand side. And Thomas again comes infield for the moment, and Bozanic is there. And now Ben Pearson, experienced campaigner, combative little player. Here's Manhoof again on the Stoke right, cuts onto his left as he always does.
I'd say that they look the better team, to be fair, at the moment.
In the last few minutes, without a doubt, Swanee, yeah. They do. Johnson plays it off Target, who, worthy of note, that last cross that came in, or cross before last that came in, it was Target who read it well and made the interception. Had it not done so, I think it was Galbraith would have easily been on the end of it. So good anticipation from the experienced left back for City. As the Tigers clear again, but they just can't clear the line, City, at the moment.
Can't get over it,
no. Galbraith and Marushiana on that far side, and guess who? Zorba Thomas picks it up again onto his right foot, looks to get the cross in. It's blocked by Gunnar Duarte on this occasion. Galbraith forward looking for Rigo, who couldn't control it, and City confident footballer.
Well, unfortunately, we've lost our line to Stoke. We'll bring that back shortly here on BBC Radio Humberside. We'll regain the connectivity with Alex Burgess and Swanee. Let me give you the scores as I've got them in the League Cup this evening. I can tell you that at half-time, Middlesbrough lead at Doncaster Rovers by 1-0. Interestingly, in that one, the goal from Middlesbrough comes from the former Hull City player Kyle Joseph. So he's scored his first goal since moving from the Tigers this summer. Norwich City still lead at Cardiff by 1-0. Let me tell you that Hull City are still goalless at Stoke, just about 40 minutes gone in that game. We are approaching half-time here on BBC Radio Humberside, and I'll bring you the full half-time roundup. But we'll also hear from the Hull City assistant head coach Dean Holden. The game's at 7:45. I'll bring you at half-time. Let's return you to the Bet365 Stadium in the company of Swanee and Alex Burgess.
Thanks, James. Apologies for that. The system dropped out somehow, must have. I must admit, we were chatting away, Swanee didn't notice it. Suddenly heard James's dulcet tones. Apologies, he missed nothing. Kieran Dowell off the pitch at the moment. You may have caught that last moment. He got a bang on the head from well, he was hit by the ball actually, and he was had to come off. He wasn't very happy about it. Referee was the man who made the decision to get him off, and he's still off the pitch. So for the moment, City down to 10 men. Still no goals in this game, but it's the home side Stoke City on the attack with Zorba Thomas. Gets a cross in. It's a decent ball in, and it's the opening goal, and it's scored by Robert Bosnic, and it's been coming. Frankly, it's been coming. It was created by Zorba Thomas, the man who City have tried to buy this week. And it was finished by the big striker with a simple header from close range. Stoke City have deserved it. 6 minutes to the break here. And it's Stoke City 1, Hull City 0.
Yeah, we said it was coming. It's that man on the left-hand side, Thomas. If the men up here with the checkbooks are going to... the price is going up. He's got the ball again. I think it's Drame closing to him. He don't have to get too tight or not. And he stands off him. And he just picks a great ball out with his right foot. Because you don't get tight enough, you think whether to send him down the right hand side, down the left hand side, steps back, someone just takes that step back, he just whips the ball in. Great ball. It's an easy finish for a striker. Good finish, good goal. It's coming.
Yeah. Well, the Stoke fans happy. The City fans in that far corner, the opposite side of the ground to us. 1,200 who made the journey tonight. Less so. And City have work to do at half-time. The body language of Sergei Yakubovich suggests he's not happy. He wouldn't be, would he? He's started losing by 1-0. And in the last few minutes, as we've been saying, it's been coming. It's been Stoke have been the better side, undoubtedly had the bulk of the possession. City hadn't been able to get out. Maybe they can now, though. Here's Miller on this left-hand side. Target won the ball back, and he's still there. May help out, but he's played to Yurtadal instead, and all the way back to McNair. He's beaten to the ball by Bosnic for that goal. So loose ball by Harrington though, and Stoke come forward again, and it's played into the path of Zorba Thomas. Thomas, edge of the area, stabs the ball towards Bosnic as well. It wasn't a great ball, and perhaps he should have been better, would have been better going on his own. He didn't find the big striker on this occasion, and City can clear the lines, but Akintola is fouled by Wilmot, the Stoke captain didn't like it, but it was a clear push in the back on Akintola, and City have a little respite and a free kick, and Gunnar Duarte wants to take the free kick quickly, and Bosnic is just stopping him doing so. Not quite sure why that's not a yellow card. He was literally stood in front of the ball and stopped him taking the free kick. Anyway,
I think family the manager was so Thomas playing for me, I'm saying they're selfish. You know what I mean?
I thought that, yeah.
The opportunity, yeah, if the passes had come in off, there'd been a great pass, inch perfect. You can see what he's trying to do outside of his foot into the pass of the big striker, but I'm saying there, you've got the beat at your fullback already at pace, he's behind you, chasing you. Try and get across him and get a shot on goal yourself.
Stoke in possession then, coming forward, playing left to right in this first half, leading by a goal to nil. City have it back though, a loose ball from Johnson, Miller and Target combining, and infield to Yurtadal. That's a lovely ball from him, and Target had stayed forward. Matt Target plays it square to Dowell. Dowell's going to try one. Great effort, good save. Best effort of the game for City. Corner kick for the Tigers. Kieran Dowell just picks it up, gave it a whack. And for the second time, Josh Griffiths diving to his left-hand side to push the ball around his post. The first effort from Yurtadal earlier in the half was a decent one. That was probably better. It's a good save. And City with a late opportunity in this first half to get back into the game, perhaps 3 minutes to the break. It's a Tigers corner kick from that far side. Dowell, who won it, will go across to take it for City. Gives the signal. It's a high, deep one. Keeper will get it. Nobody anywhere near around him, and that was too easy with Josh Griffiths. Plenty of air to it, no pace though, and he throws out early, distributes quickly to Galbraith on that far side.
It's been quiet.
It has, yeah.
The game's gone on with the first 10-15 minutes, a little lively, then they've not been mentioned, have they, since?
No, I think everything's gone out to Thomas, hasn't it?
Thomas has been a man.
Yeah, he's realised that unfortunately tonight he's got the beating of Drame, and just every time Stoke have got the ball, and tried to get it out either that side to Zorba Thomas, or on occasion to Manherb on this right flank, and it's been worked.
It's worked well.
It has, yeah, it has.
What about to Dowell strike? Great strike. Strike opened up for him.
Yeah.
He didn't let no down. He got the ball out of his feet. Good strike at the target, and the keeper make a save.
I'm just going to mention Abdou Sharma. He's busy.
When he first came, we thought, what a player there. Remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got some great performances coming off the bench. And
City break forward. Miller, edge of the area. Chance here for Miller. Tries to chip over the keeper and makes a right old mess of it. And the Stoke fans love that. The City fans won't like it. Miller will hate it. You could see what he was trying to do. It was probably the right idea. Had it come off, it would have been an absolutely worldy of a finish. But it was trying to chip over the keeper, basically. In the end, it's just one of those missed kicks that we've all made. And he just basically knocked it straight out of play. Slightly embarrassing for him, but the right idea, just didn't execute it on this occasion.
It was the right idea. Like the keeper was in no man's land. He was outside the 6-yard box. All the space was behind the back of the keeper. The angle, everything was perfect for him to get that dink, little sand iron to lift it over him. But that's it. He's kicked it all together.
Yurtadal striding forward. I think we might be saying that a few times this season. Here's Miller for City, just inside the penalty area. Pulls it back. Great strike. What a goal. What a hit. Kieran Dowell. Well, he had a little sighter a few minutes ago. This one knows on his left foot, and that's an absolute cracker from Kieran Dowell, and it gets City right back into it as we approach our time. It's Stoke City 1, Hull City 1.
Yeah, like you said, he had a side with his right foot on that. Absolutely perfect there. This occasion, Miller's gone down the left-hand side, ball coming to him, waiting for the defender to come, and it's like, do I whip it in or look for me pass? He's got his head up, seeing that Dowell's coming late on the edge of the box, put it into his path, and without thinking about it, first time strike, straight to the top corner. Fantastic finish.
Keeper no chance with that one.
No chance whatsoever.
Struck it superbly, as you say, first time hit, as clean as you like. An assist for Miller, and Kieran Dowell, what a strike on his left boot. He'll enjoy watching that one back, and he brings City back into the game as Harrington steps in front of Gunnar Duarte to win the header, and it's flipped on by Akintola. He has to chase his own header, and it'll be shepherded back to the goalkeeper. We've played 45 minutes, didn't see how much added time there was. There's 2 minutes in fact of added time. Thank you, Sonny. Here's Johnson for Stoke. We're 30-40 seconds into that time now. As Harrington just mops things up at the back, lays it back to his goalkeeper.
After the first 40 odd minutes, I'm thinking, 37, whatever they're scoring, I think this could be a 0-0 all night.
Yeah.
Just I think both teams were lacking quality in the mere build-up play, never mind from the goal, but then we've only seen 2 great goals, haven't we?
We have. And just a reminder, it will go to penalties if it's level after 90 minutes, no extra time. Straight to penalties if it stays as it is now, 1 apiece. Loose play from Stoke, and is picked up by Irma and spread out to this left-hand side, and Liam Miller onto his right foot, then onto his left foot, goes one way, then goes the other, tries to get across, in, does get a cross in when he finds a red and white shirt though, and it's easily cleared away. And Irma was a little disappointed not to have that back cleanly to him, because he was in a decent position inside the penalty area, but Miller couldn't find him.
If he set the play up as well,
he did.
Better football from himself, saw the pass. Miller on this occasion didn't have a chance to get his head up and look for the pass this time. He just like to whip to him, and he was a yard behind the Miller and thought he might get a little big 1-2 come back his way.
McNair on halfway for City, and that is the half-time whistle from John Bisbee, our referee. Not the most pulsating of halves, if we're being honest, but it livened up towards the end. A couple of early chances for both sides, notably from Jens Dahl with a decent strike, a curled effort. You could see what he was trying to do to curl it around to Josh Griffiths, but the Stoke goalkeeper equal to it, palming it away well enough. As the game went on, Stoke had more and more of possession, and Zorba Thomas had the bulk of that possession as well. He was always a danger on the Stoke left-hand side. Cody Trame being given a hard time tonight playing at right back. Zorba Thomas on fire, it has to be said. He created the opening goal for Stoke City, working down the left-hand side as he'd done on so many occasions in that first half. Got the cross in, and Bosniak, the big striker, had got away from Paddy McNair to head home from close range. That made it 1-0, and he couldn't really argue with that, because Stoke had been the better team, particularly in the last 20 minutes or so of the second half. But nobody was reckoning on Kieran Dowell. He had an effort right-footed, which was well saved again to his left by Josh Griffiths from distance. And this time, the second opportunity he had was a ball in from the Tigers captain for the night, Miller, who's not had the best of games, but that was a great ball in from him. An even better finish. What a scorcher from Kieran Dowell. Left-footed, first-time shot, top right-hand corner. No chance for any keeper, I'd suggest. Certainly not for Josh Griffiths in the Stoke City goal. That made it 1 apiece at half-time. Yeah, not a classic, but an interesting first half. What does City do second half, Swanee?
Carry on from where they left off in that first half, because like I said, there wasn't much quality. There was a lot of excitement and things happening, but nobody had the quality or the key to unlock the door to getting behind the back. But Thomas, for them down their left-hand side, like I say, Drama knows he's been in the game, and it's going to be the same in the second half, because like I say, he's out to impress. There's a £7 million price tag on his head. He's not just going to come and stroll through this game. He'll want to show the old fans what he's all about, and he wants to show his own fans, really. Or he shouldn't be doing that while he's been here, but he's the difference. He's the playmaker for them. Everything's going through them at the moment, and we struggled to get into the end. The longer it went on, you could feel us coming back into it. And you said there, Miller down this left-hand side, not the best of games, but we know what he's got. He's got that quality, and even when they have the key to unlock the door to find Dowell, who had an absolutely fantastic strike into the top corner. But there's been flashes of it. The two midfield players, Duarte and Dowell, I think they're interchanging. Dowell's coming to it later on in the game. And it's new for a lot of the players as well at the back of Ellington and McNair. We know what they're all about, we've seen it, but they need to be showing the manager what they're all about. We were saying earlier before, they need to be pushing to try and get in that Premier League team. That is what their aim is. And some of the performances, probably not good enough just yet, but it's the first game of the season for them as well. So looking to the second half, continue where they left off in that first half. Let's see. There is quality there. We know we've got some quality out there. Akintola was working out at the top again. He ain't got the quality that we need. He's not a Premier League player. He's there, he's working hard, but you need more than that, don't you, when you go up there. But I just stand at the moment, we'll take a 1-1 win at half time.
That's what it is at half time. Second half to come. Penalties, maybe. Nobody wants them, do they? But anyway, it could happen. 1 apiece at half time. The second half to come. 1,200 City fans have enjoyed the last few minutes. They've enjoyed that Kieran Dowell. It is half time here at the Bet365. It is Stoke City 1. Hull City 1.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you to Swanee as well. And as Alex said in commentary, a sweet finish to equalise by Kieran Dowell. Second half commentary to come here on BBC Radio Humberside, Humberside Sport Live. The commentary of the Tigers tonight. 1-1 currently at the Bet365 Stadium, as Hull City look to book their third round place in the League Cup tonight. Interviews come with assistant first team head coach Dean Holden shortly. Let me bring you up to date with the scores from tonight's League Cup matches. We'll start with the games underway and kicked off early City still hold a 1-0 lead at Cardiff City. And a Kyle Joseph goal for Middlesbrough. The difference between Doncaster Rovers and Middlesbrough tonight, his first goal since leaving the Tigers in the summer. Let me bring you the half-time scores. Barnsley 3, Crewe 1, Blackburn Rovers 0, Sheffield United 1. 1-1 between Blackpool and Lincoln. Cambridge United 0, Millwall 1, Fleetwood Town 3, Shrewsbury 0. Ipswich and Leicester is goalless. Plymouth 1, Coventry City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. 1-1 between Southampton and West Ham. In Stevenage 0, Reading 2, Walsall and Leyton Orient is goalless, Watford 0, Peterborough 2, and a couple of games that kicked off at 8 o'clock. Brentford leads at Birmingham City 2-1, and it's goalless between Nottingham Forest and Leeds in a repeat of Saturday's first Premier League game between those two clubs. Second half commentary to come. We'll hear from Dean Holden shortly.
Weekend mornings from 10.
We get the best of the guests.
Sean Dunderdale.
This is a great opportunity to revisit those songs.
Yeah, exactly. I get asked for like, how do you want to train by Roots, but I know.
Oh, we've got a good lineup of selectors. Good, brilliant. You know, we've got It's a Perfect. We've got Brian Conley, which is just, it's one of my childhood heroes. Obviously, we can't name the tour necessarily.
Well, I can name it for you. I've done quite a few of these issues now, Sean, and I think I've yet to be banned.
Sean Dunderdale.
Weekend mornings from 10.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Humberside. Getting you closer to your club.
To your club.
BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
And Dunders is with you tomorrow afternoon. Richard Stead walking the next stage of the Viking Way. If you were listening earlier on, that is if he's made it back from France. I'm sure he'll tell you tomorrow when he's talking to Sean Dunderdale. As we wait the teams back out at the Bet365 stadium for second half commentary. Now, if coaching in the Premier League and appearing as a guest on Match of the Day on the BBC on Sunday wasn't enough for City assistant head Dean Holden, how about appearing in your own reality show as well? That's what he and his family now do with a weekly YouTube programme called Holding It Together. It features Dean, his kids and wife Danielle, a former children's TV presenter who was better known as Danielle Nichols. She works on the radio as well. However, their story is also one of genuine family tragedy too, as we're about to hear. He's been talking to Mike White, and first though, how did the idea of a show together about their own lives come about?
More and more people come into our house for kids' mates. It's a bit of an open door policy I have. The kids based on my phone, they just come in. And more things were happening. I just think we've got so many characters in our family. We've got Joey Ellis, 19, 17, Nixie 12, and little Chase who's 8, wants to be by his own mission at YouTube, which he now is. It doesn't know any different. And more and more people just come in saying there's always something happening in the house, you need to get your own show. And it just kind of just grew like that. And then Danielle and my wife had a completely random meeting with the very first boss that gave her a gig at CITV, was Stephen Moore, 4 years ago. And he said, we're looking for this type of show. She said, you wouldn't believe it, we're thinking of. So it just came organically like that. And that's the key thing, we've got full control over what goes out. So it's not like we've sold our soul and we've been given a load of money by a big TV company and all of a sudden they're going to give us a script. And so I think for that reason, we've had a lot of really good feedback because it's very raw. You obviously know our story and our backstory with our daughter, etc. So I think there's enough for people to get the teeth into and enough characters to for the viewers to engage with. Because why would you watch it? There's that many, you're going up against that many people on YouTube. But yeah, there's some great stuff. The club has been fantastic with it. The support has been great. Yeah. Well, first of all, from a contractual point of view, make sure that's all safe and secure. Last thing I do is bring out a show and then get sacked for doing so. So that was, Ajin was great and very outside, so he would help as much as he can. I'm just waiting for him to share it on his Instagram to try and get some of his couple of million followers from Turkey on board. But no, we've got some great guests coming up following this journey of the Premier League and now journey of the launch of their TV career and the kids for their football and mixing dancing, etc. So yeah, it's we'll see, that's some great feedback and I've had loads of stick as well as you'd expect.
Do you think it's what's the reaction been then? Just how bad has it been?
I'm a big boy, I've handled it up over the years with the nose and the ginger barnet and all the rest of it. So I'm well versed in that terms. The lads have been great, the lads have shared it as well. Certainly Desperate and Marco and the guys are Desperate, Angelo to come in. There you go. Did you know what you just said, Marco?
I hear you too.
Right on cue. Desperate, come on. They want to desperate to come on. And so he's like, what do you want to say? I said, just do yourself, because it's just popcorn, and so he just starts talking. I said to the guys at Match today, like, the point is you're going to love him, because he's just such a big personality, a big character, so yeah, we'll try and get a few of the Croatian fans on board on our show. Yeah.
The show itself, I'm trying to think of the way to describe it, entertainingly chaotic.
Yeah.
Is that something like that? Is that your life?
You know what, no, I don't think it is. I think it maybe comes across like that a little bit, I'm sure. I think, as well, you've got to remember nowadays, people want everything sensationalised, and you've got to be right out there in order to go and get viewers, and so we're just trying to show ourselves. I touched on it before with the diversity and what we've come through. If we'd done it a few years ago, we were struggling to get by, and we put face on face to make it like that. But now we feel that will always be a huge challenge for us. But we're now in a position, I think, now we're able to hopefully show a bit of hope and a bit of inspiration behind that. Something so tragic can happen to you, and you can come out the other side, or keep fighting to come out the other side, and try to, from a career point of view, and marriage and stuff like that, we've both been in this thing that's not easy. We've had our challenges, but when you get messages and stuff, a lot of people say, wow, because we're in these positions that we're in Daniel and public, I think people are really interested in the fact that we're so open about our life and what we've been through, so hopefully we can use that. We're not going to drag it on and keep going on like, but you know, all the time there's new experiences happening, and yeah, I just think it's very, very, very raw. It's not the big mansion, it's not the script, it's not like you do this and then I'll do that. It's just very, hopefully, very, very genuine, because if it's not, people can sniff that pretty quickly.
I think they can. I know you've spoken there, and as you say, I'm aware of the story, and there'll be a lot of people because you have spoken, but some might be listening to this not aware.
Yeah.
Are you able to just explain for those people?
Yeah, of course.
What you're referring to?
So me and Danielle, so we, back in 2012, we unfortunately lost our beautiful little daughter, CC, 17 months old. We had 3 kids that must have been married. We had 3 kids before. Joey and Alice were 4 and 3. We went on holiday to Lanzarote. She woke up on the first morning and lost her way. We took her to the clinic, and within an hour and a half she left us. She tragically passed away, so septicemia kind of got all over in the end, but it was a bit of meningitis and things like that. There was just no damage, nothing. We sort of told there was nothing, there was no bruising, no nothing, so obviously it took us a long time to, well, never get out, I wouldn't say over it now, but we learned to live with it, I think, and we tried to use it as a purpose, and we've gone to have 2 more beautiful children. Daniel last year we had 5 late miscarriages on the back of that, which is we've not really spoken much, so that's another thing where she can help people. We just try to make the best of a really difficult situation, and the truth is 88% marriages fail inside 2 years of losing a child because you're hard enough to get out of bed. So we're like 20%, so when we're going into the next bit of our life, we're going up against Man United or Chelsea away, or the percentages are against you, I don't believe in it. I think you've always got a chance.
How do you overcome something like that, but from comparing to the football, how does it put things into perspective?
I was still playing back in Walsall, in fact I went to Walsall, and it was easier for me because I went into pre-season. It was the first time I was in, I think it was 34, 33, so it was pretty amazing. I was just a machine. I just wanted to get on the training trips and run and get fit because I couldn't think of anything else. It was like escapism for a couple of hours a day. And Daniel was at home, making sure everyone else were okay, 2 kids. But in terms of football, the sort of management and coaching that I've gone on to do, it's really helped in the sense that what we've gone on to do in terms of the spiritual journey, we never sort of took antidepressants or anything like that. We just tried to, not that I'm saying that's not needed for some people sometimes, but we very much went into the realms, and we found that. So we just done a show, we found yoga, meditation, and the Wim Hof method, which is the cold ice, which I'm trying to, every time I see a light in the ice back down to the waist, I'm like, get down to your neck, get in there for 12 minutes, it can really help you. So these mad spiritual journeys, which ultimately lead you to a position where I know in any situation now I can probably would serve if you remember. What was it like when we scored at Wembley? Dead fan, wasn't it? Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. So he's got that in his book as well, which, you know, just that calmness in the moment when everything else is going completely all over the place. I think that's really helped me actually, and will help me continue to hopefully be a good leader for that.
Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate you trying to do that justice in a few minutes. I do appreciate that. Just to finish with them to talk about the show. What's next? This you get hammered, you get too butted about your guest sense. Yeah, the different angles, this one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think I'm hoping there'll be a show like this. We went to the dance floor for 12 years old. I mean, I'm not too sure the dance floor. It was incredible. In the summer, we went to Dublin. Congratulations. Thank you. And that's hopefully we're going to be somebody's show, but we're trying to talk to producers. I'm over there now trying to talk them into doing a show based on the biggest story in football, which is beating Man United and me going a match as well. So I think that'll be some of the show. And we'll see, we've got some great ideas, we've got some big guests lined up just to come on and help us. And you know what, we're having a bit of fun. I'm having a bit of fun with the kids. I think that we just put them on and we take them a little bit too seriously sometimes. So we're having a little bit of fun with it.
He's really good when you meet him as well. Very friendly. He's definitely got that kind of northern man exterior as well, but he's a fascinating character and an incredibly moving and difficult story of personal tragedy. Dean Holden, Hull City's assistant first team head coach, talking to Mike White.
Difficult to interpret. Oh, it follows a sort of piece of puzzle, but that must be wrong. It's Mars in London, you say. No, that's the legend. Is this not Grimstone?
Not Grimstone.
It's Grimstone.
Because it's Grimstone, that's not Grim. His armour is too late and
Correctly.
It's a giant gold ball, prominent feature on the whole skyline, and it's a really important part of Hull's maritime heritage.
And the stories behind them.
I've been thinking about it and making a huge impact on me. He was so proud of what they've done.
Hidden East Yorkshire and Secret Lincolnshire. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
To get the latest on Hull City, click subscribe on BBC Sounds.
Waiting for the teams to come out for the second half of the Bet365 Stadium. Quick reminder of some of the scores tonight. By the way, there is one Champions League playoff involving the British Cup. Celtic currently 1-0 at LASK. Second half commentary about to resume of Hull City at Stoke in the second round of the League Cup. The commentary team tonight, former record signing Swanee, alongside Alex Burgess.
Thank you, James. The teams are coming out. City are out, we're waiting for Stoke City. In my notes that blew away earlier, I had all sorts of stats about you, Swanee. Obviously, record signing, as James said, for City and for Plymouth. £1 million you went for over the years, which back in the day was a lot of money. That was it, I think. Well, yeah.
Comparison to record signings now.
Well, that's kind of what you know. I love the security guard who was walking out with Sergei Kirovich. With all due respect, Sergei Kirovich, he's 6'5".
I thought it fell out of his pocket then.
Security. The security guard is the size of a peanut. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive, but yeah, I know you've got to look after people nowadays. It's quite the right thing to do, but that was a strange sight. Anyway, we are waiting for Stoke to win here. They go. I'm looking down pitch side to see if there are any substitutions. Swanee, I can't see any City substitutions at all.
The board's stood there with the board.
Yeah, he is the fourth official.
Not
no City players there exactly at the moment, at least. Anyway, so it suggests perhaps a Stoke player or two, maybe. We shall see. Yeah, we are going to see at least one Stoke player come on. We're going to see Jubal Samari, who's a central midfielder, come on. We'll have a look and see who he replaces in a second. But he's at least one sub. I think the only sub, Samari. Have a look at it. No subs for City. Something happens in the next few seconds I haven't seen, which I don't think I have. So Samari's going to come on. Who's the replacer? Possibly. Just looking down to see. No, so is my man Ethan Galbraith? No, it is Ethan Galbraith. I wondered if it might be. He wasn't given the big build-up to one, he wasn't particularly effective, was he, in the first half? No, not after the first few minutes at least, anyway. Samari is in. Jibril Samari, the one substitution at half-time, and we are underway for the second period. I'll run through their sides again for you in just a second. I appreciate people dipping in and out of it sometimes during commentary. So here is Zorba Thomas again on this left-hand side. So still playing right to left in this second period, and that's the first mistake of the game that Zorba Thomas has made. Playing to his feet, couldn't control it, runs out of play. It'll be a throw-in for City. So let's give you the teams. First of all for Stoke, Josh Griffiths in goal, Lawrence Yana, Luke Graham, Ben Warnock the captain, and Ben Johnson across the back. Now it's Jubal Samari in midfield, along with Thomas Rigo and Ben Pearson. Zorba Thomas, who's been a standout player in the game, on one flank. Million Manher, who's not been a million miles behind, no pun intended, sorry. And Robert Bosniak, the goal scorer for Stoke, the striker. The bench. They do have tricks on the bench, Stoke, certainly. Cranfield in goalkeeping, so Bacon Ho is a skillful player. George Hurst is a quality footballer, boasting a while. Sam Gallagher, a big striker. Freddie Anderson, Tyler Martin and Gabriel Kelly, that's Kelly, they're the subs for Stoke. Let me give you the City team, no changes as I mentioned from the first half. So Dylan Phillips in goal, across the back, Matt Target at left back, Cody Dramé at right back, Harrington and McNair the two central defenders for City. Lucas Dorner-Duarte and Jens Yurtadal, the holding midfielders who both impressed in the first period. Kieran Dowell, who scored an absolute corker. Liam Miller, the captain tonight, on one flank. Abdou Sherma on the other. David Akintola leading the line. The City bench, Konstantinos Solakis, Ryan Giles, Hedemasa Marita, Mohamed Galumi, John Egan, Elliot Stroud, Regan Slater, Noble Mendy, and Tyrell Sellers-Fleming. Those are the lineups for you as the second half is underway without too much action so far. Peter Swan, Alex Burgess, your commentary team for you tonight. One apiece it was at the break. We've got 19 minutes and then penalties if it remains on level terms in this EFL second round game. No extra time, straight to penalties if it remains level at the end of 90. Here's Dorner-Duarte. He's trying to play in the goal scorer, but can't do so. Dowell couldn't get onto the end of that one. Foot comes in from Stoke play, bounces away to the far side of the pitch, and it will be taken as a throw-in by Target. And out to this right flank again to Dramé. Plays a little 1-2 with Dowell and feed to Dorner-Duarte. And Dowell again, working one way and the other. Shouts of shoot from some of the City fans who Dowell is fouled on the edge of the area in the end. In fact, the referee is moving back to where the first foul was. He thought there were two fouls. I think he might be right. The second foul's a bit closer to the edge of the box. One of the first one a little further away. I prefer the second.
I would as well. I say another. First one, the first one, 16 again, they want the foul. The second one was kicked on his feet, went past him fine.
Yeah, Samara with the first one didn't think it was. No, and Pearson with the second, which probably was. Ben Pearson, of this referee sent off at the back end of last year. Last sending off, he did, John Busby. One of 4 red cards he gave out last season. 26 games, 110 yellows. Ben Pearson was one of the reds. No yellow card for that though, just a free kick for City. This is 10 yards out, just a little more. Slightly right of centre, 10 yards out from the penalty area. Dowell takes it left-footed, hits the wall, bounces away, picked up by Yurtadal, can't do so. And the clearance is a poor one from a Stoke point of view. City have it back again with Irma, and now it's Miller on the left-hand side. Late into Peter Akintola. The intended pass was back to Miller, but didn't find him. Never mind, found Dramé. City have it. Now it's with Target. Now it's with McNair on the far side again. And Miller, the Tigers captain this evening, who got an assist for the first goal. The ball into Dowell. The goal was all his though. Great strike, left-footed, first time to get City back into the game. 1-1 it is. Up towards Akintola. Flicked header looking for Miller, but good defending from Johnson. Got there ahead of the City winger. And Stoke, well, they can clear the lines, but he will try and make a bit of a mess of it. Just about get away with it. This Gianna will clear upfield. Comes off Harrington, then comes off the head of Dramé, and it'll be a throw-in to Stoke City midway inside their own half. 4.5 minutes played, 1-1 was scoreline. Peter Swan is your match summariser.
Yeah, the first 4 minutes I've seen Dramé give Thomas a couple of liveness on the back of his ankles there when the ball's coming to him. He's got a bit tighter on it, so he's trying to get there before he actually gets a touch and gets turned on, which is important. Because I said they've both got pace at the moment. Thomas is winning their individual battle.
City in possession on halfway. Dowell tried to lay it back to Dorner-Duarte and did in the end, and Harrington just helped it back to his goalkeeper Phillips. City went left to right in this second half. The City fans are way to our right and in the corner on the far side of the pitch. As I've mentioned a couple of times, 1,200 or so made the journey. Great turnout on a Tuesday night. The second round of the EFL Cup is Akintola. Took too long over that and was challenged in the end by the Stoke captain. Then he thought he was fouled by Zorba Thomas. Referee thinks it was the other way, and Akintola is penalised, and it'll be a free kick for Stoke. Just in from the touchline on this near side, a few yards inside Stoke territory, and Thomas will just lay it back to Luke Graham. to his fellow centre-back, Wilmot.
So Wing gets up again.
It is, yeah.
Got your papers up.
It's a breezy night. It's a breezy night in Stoke. It's still warm enough, it's still pleasant, but it's dark outside. The floodlights are beaming brightly, they need to be. Swanee's beaming brightly, he always is. That's
Yeah, always is.
Absolutely.
No need to be miserable, is there?
No point. Stoke in possession with Thomas on this near touchline, and you're absolutely right, Swanee. Drano was on his close to him, wasn't he? Very close to him, yeah. And Thomas tried to make a quick pass, and it didn't work out. Stoke do have it back again, though. It's another quiet start to the half, isn't it, Swanee? It really is.
It is. It is. Quality again lacking, but we saw glimpses of it. Let's hope it builds up again.
Drano just intercepts the header. Better. It is. Again, one of the subs, Gallagher, the sub, just throwing the ball in quickly to Thomas so he can take the throw quickly. Definitely a tactic to keep it moving from Stoke, and they almost caught City out a couple of times in the first half, but that's a poor bit of defensive work from Manhurst, and City will come forward with with Miller, and he played it infield, but City couldn't keep control of it for long, but now they do. Conor Duarte has it back again, and another opportunity for City. And it's back from where it started, this time with Target on that left-hand side. Plays it into Helsdal. Away by Stoke, and it's just a bit scrappy, quite honestly. Here's Target, though. Another mistake, this time from Stoke, and Miller again rides that challenge well. Liam Miller trying to get to the bar line, does get to the bar line, gets across it, it's towards the near post actually. Keeper goes down and gathers it comfortably enough. That was a little bit better from Liam Miller. Went at his man, got the cross, it didn't quite come off, but it had a go.
Yeah, that's occasionally he has got past him. I'd say not being the best of nights for Miller, has it? Especially in that first half. It's one of them ways possibly he's trying too hard.
Yes.
Rather than doing what comes natural.
Yeah, you do wonder whether the weight of being captain is on him a little bit. It does affect players sometimes, doesn't it?
And there's one of them somewhere, that way's going to end up.
Trying to get past two Stoke players and doesn't, but does well enough to win a corner. Well played, Abdul Sherma. And he gets a pat on the back from Zorba Thomas as well, actually. We were saying about the start of the end of the second half. He did come with all sorts of expectation, Abdul Sherma. It just hasn't really worked out for him. You cannot fault his work rate. He's busy, he works hard, he gives it a go. I can't quite put my finger on why it's not worked out. There's obviously talent there, he's played at a high level. But just hasn't quite happened for him at City. Corner kick for the Tigers. It's another poor one, to be honest with you.
It's just easy with hanging up there for the keeper to come and collect it and move around players. It's just hanging there. It's not putting with any, pace that someone's come on attack.
Manhurst right to the challenge. A Target tries to play it in. Good challenge from Harrington. Read that well, but Pearson will pick it up for Stoke. Back on that far side, it's Johnson again for Stoke City, trying to go around 1 and 2 City players, and does so. Gets to the bar line, gets the crossing. A decent ball in. Harrington heads away. Manhurst is there. It's Pearson rather who tries to get on in it. He can't quite do so. Charles coming from the edge of the area. Decent strike, going well wide in the end. Probably struck it better than he had in the end, quite honestly. Lawrence Yana, the left fullback, always going wide. Looked like he caught it well, but he may have done, but it was going well wide, and it did, and it is a goal kick to City. The crowd tonight, 7,141 inside the stadium this evening. 7,141 is the crowd. Around, we haven't got official figures, but I was told earlier that around 1,200 have made the journey from City. Here's Miller for the Tigers, running at the Stoke defenders. Here to Dal, rather, it has to be said, and the challenge will come in from Dowell, but he's beaten to it by Thomas, but then Drame gets in front of him and does well to win it back again. Cody Drame, angle of the box right hand side, just turns it back to Akintola. Drame will get it back again. Now he's got space in front of him. Could run out and get the cross in and run out, and exactly, and he chooses not to and goes back to Conor Duarte. I'm really not quite sure, but he did.
That's the easy way out, right?
Yeah. It's with McNair and now Miller again on the far side, who's been livelier in this second period, that suggests Liam Miller, although even he now turns back and finds Target in the end, and Conor Duarte, little triangles from City. McNair back on halfway, it's where it started a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago anyway. Harrington into the feet again, Adhere to Dahl. And to Miller again, tight on that far touchline. Nice little touch, goes one way and then the other, but then just gives it back to Target in. That's a ambitious diagonal ball looking for Irma on this right side. He finds it though, and Irma controls it well enough. Looks to get the cross in perhaps though. He'll just let it back to Drame. Crosses a shocker, it has to be said. Headed away, doesn't beat the first man again, as Swan was saying.
all day on the front Drame.
I mean, yeah.
He's got other, let's say, attributes to his game that's good, but things like that,
Looking back in total, can't quite get there. Can't quite get there. It was target, I think, with a cross, and Akintola was onside, yeah. It was onside, just couldn't stretch to it. Couldn't stretch to it. Was it that end he scored last year or the year before here, actually, Akintola Stoke? I think he was.
I think he should have done better.
Yeah.
I think he stretched the ball at the wrong time. He could have done a little step in there with a quick feet to get closer to the ball and then side foot it. The right ball in by target.
Yeah.
In the area where you expect your strikers to be, and he was there, but got his feet wrong on.
Bonadroth just intercepts, and he was shepherded back to his goalkeeper by McNair for City. I wonder if we might see some substitutions soon for the Tiger. 12 minutes into the second half, no goals scored in this second period, so it remains 1-1 as it was at half time. Plenty of options for City on the bench, as there are for Stoke, of course. One or two options maybe the manager may not want to use. I'm thinking of Noble Mendy, and I'm thinking of Ryan Giles, who both came off with I think cramp more than anything else.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. But Dean Holden said to us when Mike White was interviewing him, I went with him to City training yesterday. We said they were going to assess them yesterday. They trained yesterday afternoon and see what they were like. They've obviously decided those two are good enough for the bench, fit enough for the bench.
Substitute being made now?
Yeah, there we go. I didn't think it could be too long. Who we're going to see first for City? Well, there we are. Now this will be interesting, won't it? Hidemasa Morita is the man who is going to come on wearing number 5, and he will replace Yerta Dalu, who's had an excellent game. Morita, who I think has said he would like to be known as Rita. We'll see how good he is before we start doing that. I'm still with Morita for the minute, but his nickname, I'm not sure what it's got on the back of the shirt. I can't see from here, but I think that's one of the things I was told, that he might like to be called Rita is his nickname. We shall see. But anyway, the Japanese is on 40 times a Japanese international. He's playing for City tonight. And forward by Miller. And Akintola through on goal. David Akintola, can he finish? No, he can't. It hits the side netting. Well, from start to finish of him receiving the ball, there was just no confidence from him. No confidence whatsoever that that ball was going to hit the back of the net. And it hit the side netting, and it was a glorious, glorious opportunity.
That has got to go in the back of the net, and it's a great ball through. One-on-one with the keeper, it goes round the keeper, then you just expect him side foot into the empty net. Is it the side netting? That's done him no good whatsoever, confidence-wise.
No.
Absolutely. It was a perfect ball, everything about it. The defender was about 4 or 5 yards behind, so not being rushed, everything was at his own pace. Great first touch round the keeper. The goals opened up for him to side foot in. Miss kicks into side netting.
Yeah. Lovely fellow by all accounts, David Akintola. Certainly, the odd time I spent in his company is a nice bloke, but I have to say that was a really, really poor miss. He's offside there as the ball comes through to him again. I did wonder if he was offside. Maybe he thought
it was close, but it was a great time. Must have been a great time run, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of find reasons for it. Maybe he thought he was going to be pulled up as offside. Just looking at him, I know he can't believe it. He knows. I mean, he's a professional footballer. He knows. And he went round the goalkeeper, did enough there. He was always going a bit further wide than he might have liked, but then
sorry for that.
Still, yeah, exactly. Still had the chance to hit the back of the net and hit the side netting instead. Just couldn't wrap his foot around it. And yeah, we do feel sorry for him in that circumstance. But City had a great chance and he wasn't able to take it. And Stoke.
I never felt confidence as we went through, did you?
No, I didn't. That's what I said in contract. Just thought it didn't look confident. It just didn't look it, I'm afraid. And footballers go through that sometimes, don't they? They go through those periods. Strikers, you know that.
Especially when he's been out that long.
Yeah. Yeah. And he almost left the club on a couple of occasions, and very possibly still will. But yeah, unfortunate. Still 1-1. Stoke are going to make a raft of substitutions, 3 by the look of it. Sam Gallagher is one of them, I can see that. George Hurst is another. Crikey, that's a couple of larkers to bring on, isn't it? And Bosun Lawal, who's a centre-back. So 2 strikers and a centre-back coming on for Stoke imminently. Gallagher, big gangling striker. And George Hurst, son of David, former England man and Sheffield Wednesday, signed in the summer from Ipswich. Spent the summer in America, or wherever Scotland were, within America, Canada or Mexico, whichever they were in, I can't remember. But Hurst was there with them as a member of the Scotland squad. So he's working his way back to fitness because he hasn't played a lot of games in pre-season. George Hurst took an extra time off because of being away for the World Cup. Here's Miller trying to take it past the central defender Wilmot, but Wilmot did well and did played the ball off Miller's feet. He thought he had done anyway, thrown towards Akintola. And Akintola dispossessed far too easily by Samari inside the penalty area. Miller did well there. He'd seen that Akintola was available as Wilmot hesitated. He thought the throw-in was Stokes. It wasn't. And Akintola, not with a chance to shoot, but a chance to create something
Fair
again.
play to the fans though. They're singing his name, getting behind and giving him the confidence, which is nice.
It is nice, absolutely, yeah. They can see a man who's trying. It's just not happening for him tonight. Here's Drame. Could have got the crossing again, chose not to, plays it.
Again, it's a confidence thing.
It
He should
is,
be down the line now looking to whip it in.
Yeah. Just plays it back again to Harrington. And now Dowell, who bought the challenge from Bozanic, who thought about smacking it away, and I think his frustration is partly borne out because, yeah, he's about to be a substitution. I think he knew it. So, 3 subs coming on for Stoke. Bozanic going off. William Manhurf, another player to make way. And who's that final one? It is Ben Johnson at full-back. So a centre-back on to replace him. Maybe a shuffle around at the back for Stoke. So a defender for defender, and then 2 strikers coming on, George Hurst and Sam Gallagher. So a triple change for Mark Robbins and Stoke City. Bozanic just shakes the hand of his manager. I don't think he was overly happy at coming off, but anyway, he's got over it. And City will have a free kick, which Marita will take. Just plays it back to Harrington, who turns it all the way back to Phillips. I don't quite get that one.
Frustrating, isn't it, at times when you get in positions like that. First thing is go back, no, go forward. That's what the manager's putting into his team, wanting to go forward.
Yeah. Strange one, to be honest, but there we are. Here comes City again. Decent ball forward by Target, and Miller into the box. It passes Akintola by, goes behind him, yeah, he's having a difficult time of it there in Akintola out there. I wonder if it might be time to make a change.
Fans are still within the battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's brilliant.
No, it's lovely to see.
As a player, to hear that was brilliant.
Yeah, just looking at the replay of it, in fairness to him, it was rather behind him. A right line along the place of Miller as well, who made the cross.
It's a confidence thing now. I can tell. Do you bring him off and because he's completely, to me, it looks like he's completely gone. Or do you leave him on to try and get through it? It's manager's discretion here, trying to protect the player.
Yeah, well, I saw just after that, I saw the manager walk towards the bench. Whether that's to do anything about it or just to take a seat, which he's now done, I'm not sure. But yeah, City likely to make another sub before too long, you'd think, and they made the one in this second period. 1-1 the scoreline. Long ball forward, and Phillips comes and gathers that one at the extreme use area, read it well enough, and just rolls it out to McNair.
It's a great ball with the build-up play to get the ball out to Miller by Arita in that play before that.
Harrington, going on to Ath.
That's not skill by...
Gets away by
come on.
Pearson. Akintola, edge of the area. What can David Akintola do with this? Well, he skies it. He skies it left footed. It was sitting for him, it was coming down for him, but he just made it on the scratch.
I love it. It's like they're like a mother to him. They put their arms around him, trying to do everything to make him feel comfortable. They're desperate for him to get a goal. It's gone to his left foot and he's missed it by 30-40 yards. Not the ball, the goal.
Yeah. It's a great ball across field for him, but yeah. Here's Gordon Duarte for City in centre field, out to Drame on this right-hand side. And Harrington back on halfway, squares it to McNair. And Target. And Miller the captain, and all the way back to McNair just inside Tigers territory. Square to Marita. 21.5 into the second half gone, 1-1 the scoreline. Now Harrington. Six caps for him for Australia, including time at the World Cup, another one who was involved in the summer. What an honour to play for your country, what an honour to go to a World Cup, incredible. At such a young age, in his case as well, he's only 18 years old. Turns 19 next month, I think, if I recall correctly. Meanwhile, it's Stoke still in possession. Just happy to keep the ball for the moment. To Graham. Back across that back line to Noel, one of the three subs that just came on. Noel again. He's stepped into centre back, and Wilmot, the captain, has gone out to right back for the moment. He pushed forward a little bit as well, actually. Maybe slightly changed the formation slightly. Starting to seem a bit higher up the pitch than they were anyway. That's a decent ball in, and Hurst, and now it's Rigo, who was trying to find Gallagher on the edge of the area, intercepted well though by City, Marita specifically. And the free kick is given City's way in the end. Referee wants a word with somebody. Gordon Duarte's just being told to calm it down a little bit, I think, was the gist of that. I think that was who it was aimed at, but it's Gordon Duarte who has the free kick, not quite sure. Anyway, play continues. City with a free kick, 15 yards, 20 yards inside their own territory. And Gordon Duarte will lay it back to Harrington, then to McNair, and then to Marita. And Miller, Gordon Duarte again. And he wants to ping one out to this right side, and does. Drame on halfway, just controls it nicely enough, but again goes backwards rather than forwards. It's with Harrington. Nothing wrong with that necessarily on that occasion. Again, City doing what Stoke did a few minutes ago, and just running a top possession, happy just to hang on to it. Play it quiet. It has gone quiet, yeah. Here's Marita into Akintola, and lays it off to Miller, and then Target. All this still on the halfway line though, back in the City half again with Marita, who's dropping deep to pick up the ball, and Gordon Duarte with a blind pass from him. He was lucky to get away with that. Drame stepped there to win it, and then lost it. Now Zorba Thomas is chasing down the left flank, and will get the cross in, and it's away by Harrington. And he stops from going out of play by Kieran Dowell, but only gives it away to Thomas anyway. Then Thomas took too long over it. Dowell got a challenge, and it's very scrappy. It's Irma who will bring the ball away, but then steps into trouble and then has to lay it back to Drame, who looks for options, thinks about a long ping diagonal to Miller, changes his mind, plays it short to Irma instead, and now Drame does do the long ping towards Miller, and does it well.
Gets there,
yeah, does. Heads it back to Target. Infield that goes to Dowell on halfway. He's chased down by Pearson, but right to challenge. He's got a bit of cramp as Dowell gone down and pulls his feet up a little bit, pulls his toes up a little bit as Marita sprays it out wide to Drame. This is better from City. The pass there from Drame, just a little short, asking a little long rather, asking too much of Irma. Yeah, but City have it back again with Harrington on halfway. There again.
It's building the pace up into this, don't we? Yes, 20 minutes now.
Dowell's back on his feet.
We're a better team now. But they've obviously made the substitutions with a bit of spark up top to get the opportunity.
Harrington on halfway for City. And Drame has space on this near touchline. He's got the chance to get a cross in, and does. It's over the top of Akintola, comes short.
Tom had a press in the box, so it's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's not even areas he's aiming for there. He's probably put his arm around it, but there's nothing to it in there. He controls by himself, 2 players around him.
Yeah. Throw in for Stoke. On the far side into Samara. That was a dangerous throw. Samara did well just to get it away from Irma on the edge of the area, and Stoke can build forward. 26.5 minutes of the second half play. 1-1 still the scoreline. And Irma.
Again, let's go forward.
Yeah, right.
That's when you probably look forward. That's when you're looking for your opponent to bounce the ball off there. And probably don't have the confidence to make control to get out of it.
Stoke in possession again. The remaining bench for City. Solakis, the goalkeeping. So Brian Giles, Marita's already on. Balumi, John Egan, Elliott Stroud, Regan Slater, Mendy, and Tyrell Sellers-Fleming. He'd be the obvious replacement for Akintola if the manager chose to make a change. Hasn't done so yet. And Stoke have possession with Gallagher. Angle of the box right hand side. Steps away from target, but couldn't keep control of the ball. And City have it back again now with Miller, but doesn't see anything ahead of him. And just turns and lays it back to Marita. Marita to Irma. Keeps it moving out to the right flank. And Drame, who just touches it back in the field to Harrington, and McNair again at centre back. It's not a classic, Swanee.
No. Put us through it at times, but it's about players, like I say, progression for this season. And it's about winning as well.
Without a doubt.
Oh, that late, the referee did, didn't they? A free kick on ground, he went down. 3 passes later, he blows up.
Yeah, strange one. But
when we're still in decent possession.
Yeah, decision goes City's way. It's just about bang on halfway on this near touchdown right in front of the dugouts. I can see Dean Holden having a chat with Sergei Kirovich, maybe thinking about some changes, and that indeed is what's going to happen. Hands a note to the 4th official, and some changes will be made too, I think, is the signal. Either that or somebody doesn't like Swanee, I'm not sure which. But like a handball from Pearson from here. Line side of the referee, didn't see it, wasn't given. Here's Samari for Stoke, one of the 4 second half subs they've made. Here's Gallagher, another one. Turns away from one, then away from Marita, but gets the cross in. McNair has to be careful with the clearance, and is careful with the clearance. It was a cushioned little touch to target. And then corner to Ath. Gives it to Miller and then gets on his bike, but Miller doesn't use him. Plays it back to Marita instead. And to Harrington. And now Drame again on the right hand side. Little ball into Irma. A little run from him perhaps. He's on this near touchline. The defender goes across and gets the challenge in. Gianna. Lawrence. Fullback. Stoke. Throw in City, taken quickly. Harrington given that a little bit short. Hurst can't quite get there in front of him though, and City with McNair have it just outside of the centre circle. Target now. And we're going to see a double substitution, as I mentioned, for City very shortly. Let's have a look who. It's Tiger still in possession with McNair. Balumi is one player who's going to come on, and I can tell you that, and the other player is going to be Elliott Stroud for City. Only the second Swede to play for City, Swanee. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Who was the first?
You first told me and I forgot.
Stoke with a chance, edge of the area, shot comes in. It was a tame one from Thomas Rigo, and easy for
why is he showing you
the
the angle there?
Yeah, it's a crazy angle from the point of view.
George Hurst has made a great run in the centre, and they don't even bother looking at him.
Seb Larsen, the other Swede to play for City. A Swedish legend he was, for sure. If Elliott Stroud gets anywhere down at that kind of level, he'll do well. And let's hope he does. Long ball forward from City, and Miller chased it, but always going to be the keepers. And Griffiths came out to gather at the extreme of his penalty area, then throws it out to Luke Graham. And we'll just take it nice and slow and simple to Lowell, and out to the captain at right back. And Gallagher made himself available. Doesn't use him, plays it short to Samari again in midfield. Actually, he's got a bit of space behind him and ahead of him now. Forward into the path of Hurst, or to the feet of Hurst, I should say. Samari again, and out towards Zorma Thomas, who's been much right to second half. Yeah, but be careful what we wish for, because that's a decent ball in. Gallagher arriving, couldn't quite get there, goes all the way across the 6-yard area, and under play for a throw-in on the far side. Well, Zorma Thomas was worth every penny of £7 million in Premier League terms in the first half. Not so sure in the second, Swanee.
No, me too. He's probably been told, yeah.
Stop playing so well.
Certainly that would work with him. Hey, price is going up, mate. Slow your game down.
Abdi Sharma is the man to make way for Mo Bilumi. No surprise there. Straight swap on this right-hand side. And Miller is the other one. Thank you.
Is it?
Is it?
No, sorry.
No.
Target, is it?
Stroud is the man coming on, and yes, Target, Matt Target coming off. Yeah, it's Matt Target coming off. So it is Stroud will come on. He'll go across to take the throw in on that far side. Matt Target, who will be managing his minutes as well, because he's not played that much football since the end of last season, when he played against City, of course, for Middlesbrough in the playoff final, worth remembering. But had a 10-minute, 15-minute cameo on Saturday. He played in pre-season, of course, but his first competitive start this season, clearly. A long ball forward. That's a great ball forward, actually, as well. And Mo Bilumi picks it up onto his left foot. Infield, Mo Bilumi, what a chance. Akitalo with a shot, saved by the keeper. Straight at him, really. And there's a Stoke player down in the box as well. Referee wants somebody to come on to look at him straight away, because it's a head injury. Well, Bilumi showed his class immediately there, didn't he? It's a lovely ball to him, actually. Controlled it well, went in field, just slightly got away from him. Looked like he was going to have a go on his left foot. Akintola stepped in, got the shot away cleanly enough, but it was tuning the goalkeeper. Always going to be the goalkeepers, and it was easy enough in the end for Griffiths for Stoke City.
Decent strike, Akintola.
It was.
Straight to the keeper, though.
Yeah. No, caught it well enough, but never going to trouble him. It was just too near him, basically. Yeah, a bit of treatment for the Stoke player. I can't just see which one it is, to be honest with you, but he's lying on the ground. I'm sure he'll be fine, but the physio's just giving a bit of treatment. The referee was anxious to get them on quickly, and it means that there's a coaching break, a drinks break, or whatever you call it. We won't see those too often this season, I don't think. But this one, an enforced one for the break. The wind is getting up here. It's getting a bit chilly. Swanee's forgotten his coat.
Worth it in care.
There you go.
That'll be all right.
We have 12 minutes, 11 minutes, in fact, before any added time at the end of the second half. Added time, yeah. Not extra time, added time, yeah. Added time. There will be a bit of added time, partly because of the subs, and partly because of this little delay there is here. Still no action on the pitch. And we are going to be going to, if it stays like this, the dreaded penalties. Make sure we can count tonight, Swanee. Last time we did penalties, I think, on this new radio station was that Wrexham game last year that James was referencing. Again, Carabao Cup.
Slayer and Fleming look like they're coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. It was the fullback after all that. Lauren Shannon, who's coming off, looks like he's done his hamstring actually. Or he's just got some tight hamstrings as he comes off. I thought the referee stopped it for a blow to the head, which is why I thought it was insisting on somebody coming on quite so quickly. Anyway, he is struggling, to say the least. City are, as Swanee says, going to make some subs. Terrell, Sellers Fleming and Regan Slater. The two are going to come on. And the substitution for Stoke will be made as well. Johnny can't continue, obviously. So he comes off. And replacing him is Freddie Anderson, who is actually a right back. So again, maybe a bit more of a change around in the Stoke defence. So Anderson will come on. Maybe he'll have to play left back as Shana was. Anyway,
the fans are going because they took Akintola off.
Yes. Yeah, David Akintola is the man replaced, or one of the men replaced. Terrell Sellers Fleming is on. So too is Regan Slater. I missed the other one, Swanee. Who else did that came off there for City? I was. We'll have a look in a second. Tell you in a minute. Bear with me. City made what will probably be the final substitutions for penalties. No, he went off earlier. Dowell. Kieran Dowell. Yeah. So, Terrell Sellers flowing on for David Akintola. Kieran Dowell makes way for Regan Slater, who has scored here on this ground previously. Came on as a sub a little earlier than this in the Tim Volta era. City won that game 3-1. I remember interviewing Regan Slater after that game. He was fuming at being left on the bench. Not a happy boy. And I think that was the season he won Player of the Season. Anyway, not a bad 50 grand. Regan Slater was excellent on Saturday. As a busy midfielder, he's on for City tonight. 1-1 the scoreline now. It's Stoke attacking. Into the box it goes. It's Hurst with the header. No power on it though. It was just dinked up to by Rigo and didn't have the opportunity to get anything on it really. George Hurst, I'm sure I've called him David Hurst by the end of the night, so I apologise. I apologise early if I do. Here's Gordon Duarte, who looks like he might play the whole game. He's been impressive. And getting some minutes in his legs, as they say, will do him the world of good, I'm sure, as well. He's a big unit, isn't he?
He is.
He's a big player.
He's very rangy. His fitness levels look good. Oh,
it's a loose ball, yeah, it is a loose ball, and Hurst just didn't quite have the pace, or didn't quite have the alertness was the word I was looking for to get on the end of it. Anyway, City managed to clear it up, and it's back up the other end, and Stoke trying to do the best to make a bit of a mess of things, and might be picked up now by Stroud, and it is into the feet of first Slater, then laid off to Tyrell Sellers-Fleming, still looking for his first City goal in senior colours. Battling for it on the edge of the area, but couldn't really get his feet around it. And now it's Balloumi back out to Miller on that far side. Cross will come in from Stroud, left-footed ball in, headed towards goal by Slater. Not quite sure how he managed to get his head around that to get the header in, but couldn't get any power on it. And we've got another problem for another Stoke player, and the referee wants straight away. But I think it's Ben Pearson who actually indicated he didn't want them on. Anyway, the physios are on, which means he'll have to go off. And it means we have another break in play. And honestly, we don't need a lot of added time, do we? Let's be right. 6 minutes to play. We are going to get it. 6 minutes to play, but there'll be a fair bit of added time. We've had a couple of decent stoppages, as in lengthy stoppages in the second half for injuries to Stoke players, plus a raft of substitutions. So there will be some added time. We'll have after-match interviews for you as well. We'll clearly won't get those on before 10 o'clock. We'll do well to get the penalties on before 10 o'clock the way we're going on. Because there will be no extra time, straight to penalties. As I've said a few times during the evening. Sorba Thomas getting some instructions from Mark Robbins, his manager. I wonder for how long. The chances of City signing him, Swanee, what do you make of that?
What are they asking for?
Well, the talk was that there was a £7 million bid. We don't know for certain, of course, but Stoke wanted more. Nothing's happened so far. Obviously, as he's playing for Stoke tonight. But
he's a £7 to £10 million player on that first half performance.
Yeah, don't think you could argue with that. In Premier League money, it always sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that is just what it is in the Premier League. It's just, accept it or not as you wish, but that's just about the going rate for a player like that. That's a just. And he showed it in the first half, hasn't done in the second half. I don't know, Swanee, how much of that is down to Cody Drame in the tactics.
Yeah, he's got tighter.
Closer, you said that, you noticed that straight away.
Yeah, he got tighter and closer to him, so first of all, they've stopped the ball coming into him, which is important. If you get the ball stopped in the first place, you've got less defending to do, haven't you? If you get your body in the right position, and he has done. And he gave him a couple of ankle taps early on as well in the second half.
He did, yes. Yeah. Ben Pearson, who's no stranger to a challenge, is struggling a bit. He's off the pitch and just jumping around a bit to see if he can stand the discomfort, because he was in some discomfort. He's pitch, that is a decent ball forward, and Balloumi will chase. Keeper comes a long way out of his area to make the clearance, and Niggy too as well, and does so. and it'll be cleared away for throw for City on this near side. Almost lost count of some, but I think Ben Pearson will have to come back on because I don't think they'll make any more. I think they made more. So he's waiting to come back on. Has to stay for a minute, of course, this season before he can come back on anyway. And City have possession. Corner Duarte in centre field, working it out to Bellumi. And a number of City's second half substitutes, and pinged out towards Miller, the Tigers captain for the evening. Stroud on the overlap, but Miller goes inside to Morita. And Morita was trying to play in Stroud, I think, didn't quite do so, but the Japanese wins it back and does well, breaks into the box. Morita gets to the ball and gets the cross in. Opportunity for Drame, maybe gets the shot away. Doesn't really have any conviction with that, cleared away comfortably by Samari for Stoke, and then cleared up the field all the way, in fact, to Harrington, who tried to knock it back with interest, but made a bit of a mess of it in the second occasion. It went past him, and he was helped out by McNair, who came across and made the challenge in front of George Hurst, and it's had a play for a throw-in on this near side for the home team, and that'll be taken back.
That was a right chance, by the way, back for Drame. Morita did exceptional well, getting to the byline, dragged the ball across, and where we're sitting right behind was like a corridor about 3 yards for him to knock it in like a 15-yard pass. That would have been all he's doing, he's passed it into the back of the net. People opened up, the players opened up either side of him. He just mistimed his pass, his shot, pulled it too far behind.
Confidence against Wally?
Confidence thing again, yeah.
Because he's quite capable of making that shot, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a very
The shot was on.
footballer, absolutely.
Just mistimed it.
Yeah, quite. Swept out to the right flank by Griffiths. It was an intelligent ball from the Stoke goalkeeper. Samari in centre field now for the home team, up towards Hurst. Harrington is behind him and just allows the ball to run through to Dylan Phillips, who'll distribute underarm to McNair, who's not in any great rush, it doesn't seem. 2 minutes to play before any added time, before the dreaded penalties here at the Bet 365 live at BBC Radio Humberside. All of our frequencies, we're not online, I know why, but we're not, we're on all of our frequencies otherwise. Peter Swan, Alex Burgess, your commentary team, 1-1 the scoreline. Both goals coming at the back end of the first half, wasn't it, with the opening goal for Stoke, and then a wonder strike from Kieran Dowell, left-footed hit from him, absolute corker to bring matters level. That's the way it's stayed ever since. There have been a couple of chances in the second period for City that haven't been able to take them. David Akintola was through on goal, really should have scored. It wasn't his night tonight. He's since been substituted as Stoke had possession. Not for long. Harrington with a challenge, but only finds a red and white shirt, and the red and white shirt that is in possession now is Zorba Thomas on this left-hand side. Gets across it. Harrington did really well to get back and get the block in. Good defending from the youngster, and saved certain opportunities for Stoke, but it is the home team again who have possession, and Thomas plays it forward for Rigo to chase.
Been a different play this second half, Thomas.
No, too much on that for Rigo, and goes out of play for a goal kick for City. Ben Pearson is struggling. He can't go off, as I said. They've made all of the substitutions, but he's a real passenger on the pitch. He's hobbling away, trying to get back into position. But I don't think he'll be taking any penalties, but he won't be going off either because they've made all of the substitutions, Stoke. And we are almost at 90 minutes. Almost at 90 minutes, one apiece in this EFL second round cup tie. Stoke 1, City 1. Drame in possession, just drags the ball into field and plays the ball in for Morita, and neither he or Sellers Fleming realised who was going for it. In the end, neither did. In the end, Sellers Fleming reacted quickly enough and kept possession for City, and they have it now with Stroud into Corner Duarte. He's going to ping one out to this right-hand side, and Bellumi gets on his bike, but he won't quite get there, will he? Or will he? No, he won't. The defender, just Luke Graham, will be able to shepherd it out for a goal kick. 5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes of added time at the end of this game. 5 minutes before we get to penalties, if we get to penalties. I've not seen the goal coming in the second half, Swanee.
No, I mean, either we started the game like that, didn't it? And they had that 10-15 minutes where, let's say, the goals came, and then just gone like that again.
I hasten to add, with the exception of the Akintola opportunity, that the best one.
Well, we didn't see that coming either.
No.
Coming through.
It's not been a rip-roarer, that is for sure. But we're in the final 5 minutes of the game. 1-1 the scoreline. Bellumi tries to ride the challenge and does ride the challenge, just a bit too heavy with the touch. He had a bit of a, Luke Graham had a bit of a tug of Bellumi's shirt, just put him off slightly, but Bellumi rode that challenge, but then as he tried to touch the ball forward and dribble towards goal, it was just too heavy the touch and went straight out of play. The goal kick will be Stoke City's. And time ticks away. City fans still making some noise. There's Stoke fans too, to be fair, as Harrington heads forward from the long kick of Griffiths. Header back towards his goalkeeper. Wasn't the best, it has to be said, but Lawal got away with it. And it's back with Griffiths again, who just puts the ball to the floor and waves his defenders forward and then just hits long. Stroud felt it was being fouled, trying to signal to the referee, went over the top of him in the end anyway, and McNair goes across. McNair makes the clearance, but it goes straight out of play. It'll be a Stoke throw-in. Midway inside the City half, Stoke right-hand side. Thrown back towards halfway. And Stoke in the centre circle with possession. Now onto this near side, Thomas, but with his back towards goal, and he drags the ball, nice little pretty stuff, he gets away from Drame, and Pearson have made the run and combines well with Thomas, who's come forward again. Zorba Thomas gets the cross in, headed away by Stroud, and Miller gets there ahead of the defender. That was good play from Miller, and Sellers Fleming falls to the floor, but still has the ball between his legs and is battling away, and is penalised in the end by the referee.
I was unlucky there, Fleming. Like I say, he actually held the ball up, got players in around him, they went to ground, and 2 or 3 were having a little kick around a bit. He must have been the one quick, about 4 or 5 players around him. He didn't do much wrong up floor, I've just seen that again.
Just hanging onto the ball, it was on the floor, I think was the problem really, but yeah, a little bit harsh. But a free kick then. It's just outside of the centre circle, pretty dead centre, inside the City half. Zorba Thomas is over it, raises his left hand as a signal and chips it into the box. It's driven in really, and took a deflection, and the referee and linesman deciding which way they're going to give it. In the end, they decided it's going to be a goal kick. Official on the far side didn't have a clue. Referee gave that in the end, I think, and it gave it City's way. It's a goal kick for the Tigers. And Phillips, like his opposite number a moment ago, waves his defenders away and decides to hit long, and does so. It's aimed towards the Canadian international Liam Miller, who just lays it back to Stroud, who was on the run, on the overlap, or trying at least anyway. Anderson got across and got the challenge in. Throw in City, thrown back towards McNair. Time is ticking away, a minute left.
Is there a
added
chance?
time.
Not look like it, does it?
Doesn't look like there's a chance, but you never know. It's football, that's why we love it. Long hit forward from City, and yeah, there you go, straight out of play. Miller can't keep that one in play, no chance for him to do so really, and it's a throw in to Stoke City, and that may well be just about that. Will be a final opportunity for either side. It will have to be quick. It's Stoke in possession on halfway. Hurst loses out though, and Stroud, he pulls Stroud back. That's a blatant free kick. That might be the first yellow card of the game. It is to George Hurst, who was just pulling him back. It was blatant, it was obvious. And it might be, Peter Swan, that one chance we were hoping for and looking for, and it will go City's way if there is to be that chance, because it's a free kick. We're clutching a bit here because it's midway inside the Stoke half, right on the far side, the City left. Regan Slater is over it. He didn't do bad with his delivery on Saturday, to be fair, did he? Let's see if he can do something similar.
Out,
it is quite a lot further out. Towards the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Gallagher. And the referee thought about blowing up then, I think. Decided not to. Here's McNair for City. Last chance for Tyrell Sellers Fleming. And just as it came to him, he slipped and he hit it wide. And that was actually a chance, and it was the last chance, because that is the full-time whistle, and we are going to penalties here at the Bet 365. There'll be a moment or two for those, I think. I'll ask Swanee for his thoughts. We might go back for some scores, back to the studio, I think, before we have the penalties. But somebody will tell me whether we can do that. Swanee, what did you make of it?
I think it went exactly like the first half, didn't it? We had that 15 minutes when the goals, we saw a bit of quality, but apart from that, there's been lacking quality most of the games from both teams. You can see that both teams have put the second string teams out, and let's say the understanding what they're, a lot of the players, and let's say the quality, which Akintola goes through. You normally score them, let's say 9 times out of 10 you put them in the back of the net and you're going home, you're in the next round, but it's not been the case. But a lot of the players, it's been lacking quality. Things have been happening in the game, but nothing really to get an edge. You see, well, that's why there's only 7,000 here. They're expecting the same.
Indeed, so we have penalties. Both teams down at their respective dugouts getting some last-minute instructions and deciding who is going to take the penalties. It's sudden death here at the Bet365. It's finished 1 apiece at full time, and we go to penalties.
Alex, thank you for that. We'll be back with you shortly here on BBC Radio Humberside. Before the penalties are taken, of course, commentary to come. Let me give you a full, some of the full-time scores as we've got them. Norwich have beaten Cardiff 2-1 tonight. Middlesbrough have beaten Doncaster Rovers 3-1, including a first goal for Kyle Joseph, the former Hull City player who made the move to Middlesbrough in the summer. Barnsley have beaten Crewe by 3-2. Lincoln have beaten Blackpool 4-1. Of course, Blackpool got to this stage having beaten Grimsby Town a couple of weeks ago. Millwall beating Cambridge United by 1-0. Cleveland Town 4, Shrewsbury Town 0. A relatively straightforward win for Ipswich Town tonight, beating Leicester City by 3-1. Coventry City have beaten Plymouth 4-2 tonight. Wolverhampton Wanderers have beaten Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Big win for West Ham at Southampton 4-1. Reading have beaten Stevenage 3-0. And Peterborough United have beaten Watford 5-1. The game's still being played. Leeds United lead at Nottingham Forest 2-0, and Brentford have had a big win at Birmingham City by 6-1. Let's go back to Alex at the Bet365 Stadium. Alex, any close to the penalties being taken?
Yeah, we are. We're not far away. The two teams assembling in the centre circle. The penalties, it looks like they're going to be taken at the Stoke end, away to our left-hand side. The City fans away to our right in the corner, so there was a bit of a cheer from the Stoke fans because the penalty is going to be taken in front of the Stoke contingent. 7,141 here tonight, so not a huge crowd, you wouldn't expect it. 1,200 or so from City. Lucas Harrington, by the way, Swanee tells me was booked. I must have missed that one, so it wasn't the only booking late in the game, but there were only 2 bookings. Those were the 2, that and George Hurst. But we have penalties in the EFL second round here at the Bet365 Stadium. It's finished Stoke City 1, Hull City 1, so sudden death. It's Dylan Phillips versus Josh Griffiths in the goals. The home goalkeeper just applauding his team, applauding his fans. The penalties will be taken in front of the home fans. And the man to take the first penalty will be wearing 7, maybe the £7 million man, or maybe more. City have made a bid for the Stoke winger. It wasn't accepted, it hasn't been accepted, and he's played tonight and he's played well. He created the first goal for Stoke, which City equalised, and he will take the first penalty for Stoke City. John Busby, the referee, is immediately telling Dylan Phillips to get back in his goal. Phillips, to his credit, having a right good go and just trying to disrupt things, slow things down, take his time. He raises his arms to the heaven to touch the crossbar. Dylan Phillips, anything to try and put Zorba Thomas off. He's bouncing on his line. Zorba Thomas, right-footed, the first penalty, and scores it. A fine penalty from Thomas, no chance for the goalkeeper, and it's 1-0 Stoke City.
Yeah, proper strike. That's it. Somebody playing with confidence there, wasn't it? Gone up there, smashed it low out to the keeper's right side. Phillips went to the left, made it look easier.
Well, Morita is the man for City. Hidemasa Morita will take the first Tigers penalty to a crescendo of boos. experienced footballer, Japanese international, strikes, goal, no doubt, same corner as Thomas, same result, 1-1.
Same sort of confidence at all. I say, as you run up to it, you just felt, you get a feeling sometimes, don't you, players run up to it, but that just felt comfortable straight away to the keeper's right side again.
Yep. Gallagher, Sam Gallagher for Stoke on as a second half substitute. Vastly experienced striker, big man, a big moment. Right footed, keeper got to it but scores anyway.
Yeah, Phillips won't be happy with that one. He's gone the right way. Seems to have not dived over it, he's gone under his right arm there, got his arm to it. And keepers, when they get the arm to it, they always expect themselves they should keep that ball out, should be a strong wrist.
Yeah, they looked frustrated as he walks away. He, as you say, got his arm to it. Just not quite strong enough. Maybe the shot was strong, to be fair. Paddy McNair for City. Another vastly experienced campaigner. Played in a variety of positions. Defensive midfielder, full-back, central defender tonight. McNair for City to level things and scores every one to the bottom right-hand corner so far, and every one a good quality, secure, professional penalty from both sides.
Yeah, another confident struck penalty. But it's now who's going to take the first one and go to the other side. That's what everybody will be thinking, the keepers especially.
Bosun Lowell for Stoke City on as a second half substitute. Centre back Lowell versus Phillips. Takes a step up, goes the same way. Phillips went for it the same way, didn't get a touch, has a moan about the referee. There's something, but he scores anyway. And Stoke lead by 3-2 with City up next.
Again, he's gone the right way, the keeper this time. It's gone under him. You think again, there's two out of them three they think he should have saved. That one a lot closer to him.
Not sure what Phillips was complaining about, to be honest with you, but anyway, it was waved away by John Busby, the referee. And now it's Elliot Stroud for City. Stoke lead 3-2. They've taken 3 penalties and scored 3 penalties. City have taken 2 and scored 2. Now it's Stroud for City. Left-footed, same corner, same result. Penalty scored, 3-3.
Again, it's the pace that beat the keeper on that occasion. Again, it's the same corner. Everyone's going in that same corner.
Some good penalties, Swanee. Some good penalties.
Again, that's gone through the keeper. It's gone underneath him. You expect the keeper the last 2 penalties to be, should have done better.
George Hurst up next for Stoke. The 4th penalty of the evening.
These are the ones you expect to score the strikers. This is where we could see something different.
Hurst for Stoke. Little step up.
Yes.
Saved by the keeper. Poor penalty. Excellent save. Dylan Phillips gets straight. Died to his left-hand side. The first penalty that went that side. Phillips was equal to it. Hurst was not. And City had the chance with Miller to take the lead in the penalty shootout here.
It's when you say the strikers come up, we expect that's when things go different.
Dylan Phillips is ecstatic as well he might be.
Come on, Liam.
So, 1 miss, and it's Stokes. Liam Miller for City. The Tigers captain for the night steps up. A little shimmy, right-footed. Right result for City. A goal for Miller. And City have the lead in the penalty shootout.
Yeah, great finish, confidence. Like I say, little step, little stutter just before he took it. Keeper dive. There's confidence there where you look at the player. Is he looking at the keeper making the move? And I think he did have a little look at him to see if when he moved and then just put it in the other side.
Jibril Samari has to score.
Yes, you're right.
Another second half substitute. Big pressure. Left-footed midfielder. Phillips saved the last one. If he saves this one, City are through. Samari. And he scores it.
That's the best one.
Excellent penalty.
That's the best one.
So, City have the chance, another chance, to go through with another penalty, potentially the final penalty. No pressure.
Come on, Mo.
Mo Balumi steps up to take it, kisses the ball, places it on the spot, and Griffiths in the Stoke goal just takes his time, standing behind the line. Mo Balumi for City to win this, and he does it. There you go, as cool as you like from Balumi. Some excellent penalties from both sides, but the best coming from Hull City, and it is the Tigers who prevail, and City will go through to the third round of the EFL Cup on penalties. Here at Bet365, it was not a classics warning, but City would take it.
Yeah, we'd take a bit of excitement at the end with the penalties. Great going by Balloon, watching which way the keeper went again right near the end. Let's say through to the third round. It's important for the players, like I say, we've just seen there how important it is for players to play games, let's say, not the best game, but let's say more games to get in the cup competition, gives them more of a run out as well. So yeah, end of the day, it's been a long night, but we've got the result we needed into the next round.
That's you being an all-pro, Swanee, isn't it? You're right, the quality from either side was not there, but City certainly, the winning side was never going to mind about that, because as you say, it's a run out for some players who needed it, and progression to the next round for City in this case. Sergei Ivanovich will be happy enough with that. It wasn't a great performance, so not too many players made a statement to get into the Premier League side this weekend, I'd suggest, but a couple of exceptions might be the two in midfield, particularly good first half for them in Goradua and Yurta Dial as well for City in the first period. They were excellent. Morita, the Japanese, looked interesting when he came on as well. He was busy as a player. It'd be interesting to see more of him as the season progresses. But a cracking equaliser for City from Kieran Dalworth, remember, at the end of the first half. It was the man of the moment, Zorba Thomas, who put Stoke ahead, or created the goal to put Stoke ahead on the left-hand side. Got across it to be finished by Bozanic. He was the player of the match probably throughout the game, certainly in the first half. Zorba Thomas really caused City problems down that left-hand side, created that first goal, but Dowell's equaliser was an absolute cracker. Captain for the night, Miller created it, he got the assist, but the goal was all Dowell's. A fabulous left-footed strike from the edge of the penalty area. And is that Akintola getting some cheers? It is, isn't it, as he goes across? That's nice to see. He didn't have the best of nights. The crowd, as Swanee quite rightly said, very much stuck with him, David Akintola. Had the chance to put City ahead in the second half and fluffed his lines a bit, to be honest, but kept going, kept having a go, and the fans gave him so much support, and in fact booed, ironically, sardonically, sarcastically, in a nice way, you know what I mean, when he was substituted. And he goes and gets the cheers and support and applause of those 1,200 travelling City fans. It's turned out all right in the end. A classic game of football it was not. An excellent win for City and a good run out it was. It's finished at the Bet365, one apiece after 90 minutes. But Hull City go through with a winning penalty from Mo Balumi.
Thank you, Alex. Not entirely sure, even though it did go down to penalties, that we can say it was a thriller this evening. But for the first time in 6 years, Hull City have reached the third round of the League Cup. The draw made later this week. Now we'll get the post-match reaction from the City camp on BBC South tonight. So if you're looking for your reaction from either Sergei Ivanovich or Dean Holden, whoever does the press duties, you'll find that on BBC South. Make sure that you're searching for Hull City. In the next 5 minutes or so, 3 or 4 minutes actually of the programme tonight, if you're very quick, you can get some thoughts to me. You can text 81333 to start the message with the letters RH. You can WhatsApp me 08000 321 333, again for RH at the start of the message. Let's head back to the Bet365 Stadium, check in with Swanee. Swanee, very quickly, I think probably we'll come on to David Akintola momentarily, but from the point of view, one or two players were out there to make the case for them to possibly get into the manager's thinking. Did any do that tonight?
No, not really. Like, if they'd all been exceptional tonight, they'd have still struggled to get into that team or play against Man United, wouldn't they? They all know that, but they want to be part of it. And that's the thing now, you see, it's like, it's trying to impress in games like this, trying to impress in training. Every opportunity now in front of the manager, they want to be part of the Premier League. So, like I said, nobody really stood out today, but decent run out from get some, let's say, 90 minutes in the legs from some of them, some a bit less time, but it's another game. And like I say, they've got to work on that now. We've been to the third round, which is another opportunity for the players to play in competitive level rather than just on the training field. But yeah, I say it's been a long night, not been the best of nights of quality, but they've done what they had to do and they've got themselves through.
From the point of view of maybe Haidarata Murita, he's one of the players that is clearly been targeted to have a big impact this season. Clearly, second half substitute appearance, you can't read too much into it. He's coming back from injury, but he did get his opportunity to make his debut tonight. Did you see anything from him?
Yeah, you can see in flashes, and I say long on long, but I say he went past the player down the left-hand side, got to the byline, and set up a great opportunity. So little things like that, thinking more fitness levels, more game time. I say he has got something. He can straight away with it himself. Then you look at Miller, who's probably been to World Cup, on it. I think probably he's probably one that's tried to do too much, tried to do everything himself rather than do what comes natural to him. Trying to impress. So it wasn't his night, but Murita, yeah, I can see something in, definitely.
Got a text here from Eddie, the club DJ actually. Eddie Richard gets in touch and says, not a bad half of football. Dahl looks very good. Roll on Coventry away. And he says, see you there. Yeah, I will see you there. We're there on Saturday. How about Pierre to Dahl? How did he get on?
Good. Well, two central midfield players did exceptionally well. I say they got on the ball, they looked comfortable. But I say they picked up the ball at the edge of their own box, and they also, when they're in the opponent's half, they also made themselves available, so made angles so they could just link play up. And look, decent athletes, yeah, they've more fitness levels to come from them, but you can say the way they run, the way they travel across the ground, I say in their big long strides, so they're both look athletes, and I think at the top level in sport, you've got to be that sort of player, and they tend to have got that.
Just very quickly, 20 seconds on David Akintola. I think it's polite to say it wasn't his night tonight.
No, feel for that, let's say, he's one that does try for you week in, week out, but the end product's not there. But fair play to the fans, outstanding. They've looked after him today, and I say made him feel welcome. I say they've gone over, I said he's had the cheers with them, but no, definitely not his night tonight. He had an opportunity to put it to bed, and it didn't happen for him.
Swanee, safe journey home, safe journey to you and Alex. We'll see you for the game at Coventry on Saturday back in the Premier League. So, for the first time in 6 years, Hull City are through to the third round of the League Cup. On the night, in the 90 minutes, drew 1-1, but won it in penalties by 5 penalties to 4. So, City progress to the third round of the League Cup. We'll bring you the draw as soon as it's announced. Of course, we'll have commentary of the game. The post-match reaction, the interviews from the coaching staff and player will be available on our dedicated Hull City platform on BBC South. Just search for Hull City. If it's before 10:30, you get a push notification. And more in breakfast tomorrow morning.
Getting you closer to your club. To your club. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
At 10 with the BBC News, I'm Francesca Flynn. The country music star Dolly Parton has died at the age of 80. She sold more than 100 million records worldwide and wrote thousands of songs in a career that spanned 6 decades. Her best-known hits include Jolene, 9 to 5 and I Will Always Love You. Dolly Parton fans have already started to leave flowers by her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Writing on Instagram, Sir Elton John described her as having the kindest heart. Balin Leonard is a country music broadcaster and says it's a really sad day.
Dolly Parton was a member of the family, it felt like. She was a part of the DNA of the area that I grew up in. Of course, she's a part of country music, arguably probably one of the biggest, most impactful country music stars that we will ever know.
A statement posted to her social media channels says a small private funeral service will be held for her immediate family at her request. Elsewhere, 5 more people have been arrested in connection with the fatal crash on the A66 near Middlesbrough on Saturday, in which 2 police officers died. 17 people have now been arrested. Paul Williams from the National Police Federation says dangerous driving is a real concern for officers now.
Sensationalising dangerous driving, not just dangerous driving, but baiting our police officers who are out there to protect the public. It's a real problem. It's causing officers concern. They shouldn't have to be going out worrying about whether they're going to return home from the duty or the shift or not.
Meanwhile, Warwickshire police say a man has died and 2 women are in hospital after a car crash which followed a police pursuit yesterday evening. The accident happened near Stratford-upon-Avon after a black Audi refused to stop. His driver died. The driver and passenger in another car were injured in the collision. The police watchdog is investigating. The CIA Director, John Radcliffe, is reported to have visited Moscow for talks. There's been no official comment from either Russia or the United States. In-person talks between high-level American and Russian officials are rare. Somerset cider makers are warning of a big shortage of apples because of the drought. The hot weather has hit orchards hard, with many trees failing to bear any fruit. These farmers are worried.
We are really low this year. We would normally like to see about 20 to 30 tonnes from this orchard. We're going to be getting nothing.
It's a bit gut-wrenching because you know you're going to have to really use everything you've got, can't afford to waste anything, and we might have to start talking to other growers to see if we can work together.
That's the worry, is that actually we keep getting these hot summers. These trees are going further and further into decline and struggling more and more different ways.
And a sequel to the film How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is in development more than 20 years after the hit rom-com was released. The original star, Kate Hudson, is going to be a producer for the film. You're up to date, and it's just coming up to 3 minutes past 10.
The Late Show with Becky Watson. Radio Humberside.
Good evening and welcome. I thought we'd slightly change the plan tonight. And remember, Dolly, let's do it together.
Yeah, well, I don't
Good goal. Well, it's the sort of goal only a mother could love, really. But it's all that matters is that it's scored from the Leeds point of Volume 2. Grappled in the end by James Justin. I think it was quite a good thing it's not a Premier League game. I think VAR would have looked at this for a long time, wouldn't it?
There was so much going on within it. They could have looked at 2 or 3 different things, but it comes from, again, another long throw from Ethan. He messes the long throw up.
He lobs it up,
it up in the air, but they keep it alive, a couple of headers, and who scores it, I don't know. It looks like...
Well, it's not over the line there, so it's not an own goal from Nico Williams. So they give it to James Justin, but as I said, I'm glad there's no VAR, because it may or may not have brushed Metch on the way.
Absolutely offside. Because, first of all, you've got the goalkeeper there, and then you've got 2 players. You have to have 2 players behind the goalkeeper, and there was only 1. But this is scruffy. But I tell you what, I would have been celebrating just as much, because in the end, when you score a goal, you score a goal. It doesn't matter. But
doesn't matter if it's a 45-yard worldie or you scuffed it in. Leeds second, they're through to the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. The draw is tomorrow night. More reaction, more analysis to come on the way. Leeds have enjoyed their trips to the banks of the Trent in the last 3 days. Oliver Glasner, though, with plenty to ponder after back-to-back defeats.
If we play that back, you can see he's gone crunching in there. No holding back. He really wanted it. Mr. Porky sponsors coverage of the Carabao Cup.
When you want to retire early to go full-time as Grandad, be a step ahead with Barclays Premier. Now with personalised financial planning and a dedicated advisor. Barclays, backing your future.
On the Beach does way more than just beach holidays. We offer millions of combinations of beach holidays, city breaks, and cruises. So stop booking around. Whatever your next holiday looks like, get searching at onthebeach.co.uk.
Actively protected.
On the beach.
There's a place right at the edge of oxygen, way beyond the clouds and up above the masts, in space. That's where you'll find us. O2 satellite keeps you connected with more places than ever before, from the network awarded best for coverage. So even when you're far from everything, you won't have to miss a thing. Essential for living.
Double the value of your Tesco Club Card vouchers and save on theme park, zoos and family days out. Check the app to know what you're sitting on.
Go result. Thanks, Peter. Coming up, we have League Action live on Friday night, followed by 3 more games live on Saturday, then 2 more massive games live on Sunday, and don't forget League Action live on Monday night. Then it's over to Europe for the big one, live on Tuesday, then the even bigger one, live on Wednesday, then it's the other Europe.
Sometimes a break isn't a bad idea. So, if ever you want to take time out from betting, use Paddy Power's Take a Break tool to pause your account. Paddy Power.
When it comes to retirement advice, the last thing you want is to be put into a bucket. Seen simply as this type, that type, or the other type. At Fisher Investments UK, we never put you into a bucket. We always treat you as an individual, tailoring retirement advice that's just right for you. Fisher Investments UK, retirement advice that's as individual as you are.
Legendary flavours from legendary games are now in McDonald's. Garlic and black pepper McNuggets, dragon breath dip, cheesy potato bites, sour cherry fizz, and chocolate candy crush McFlurry. Take a side mission to McDonald's.
D, friend, family. This is no graduation speech. It's not. Everything we've learned goes far beyond these books. That's why we won't ever graduate. Because we never stop learning here. At the University of the Streets. We are
way we work. Someone at Wakeside killed Sophie Matson.
Fancy someone here with some for one of my guys. You sure you want to do this?
You're wondering how serious I am. I invite you to test me. Brian's new drama, The Blame, coming soon on ITV1 and ITVX.
If we freeze it there, you can see he put in 110%, and it really paid off. Mr. Porky stops his coverage of the Carabao Cup. Dan James scored the first here for Leeds this evening on their way to a 2-0 win at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest, as Leeds make it into round 3, and the draw is tomorrow evening. And you can see how much you enjoyed it. Well done, Dan. Congratulations, particularly after a difficult season last season. How good does that feel to get a goal, get off the mark, and get back-to-back wins?
Thank you, yeah. I think it's always going to be difficult coming to this game. A top Premier League side who played obviously the other day. It's not normal we play the same team twice in 3 days, and you know, we made a few changes, but I thought, you know, we were top tonight. I thought we played really good football, but we also won the fight as well, and I think to get another clean sheet is really important for us.
And how do you feel about the season ahead? Because you made some obviously really good additions, some really good defensive additions. You must be feeling that the only way is up, isn't it, at Elland Road?
Yeah, obviously feeling really good. I think we've made some great additions in the team. We want to build on from what we did last year. You know, the goal is obviously to stay in the Premier League. That will always be the goal this season. But as I said, we've made some. You know, a few people went, but we've made great additions in the squad. And you know, I think in pretty much every position we've got, you know, two players that are going to, you know, fight, you know, for each game. And I think it was important tonight. Obviously, we had players who played on the weekend for a long time. I thought they did top tonight, and then, you know, we also have players that can come in. So it's, you know, it's important for us as players to, you know, give a manager that headache.
Well, it's one of your old teammates wants to have a word with you, Stuart. Yeah.
DJ, no, I just want to touch on your own fitness. I know it's been a frustrating time for you in recent seasons. I thought you looked really sharp tonight. You obviously get your goal. Just how close to being a full fit Dan James are you?
Yeah, I think obviously last season I only kind of played towards the end. I had a long injury out of my hamstring, which was really frustrating. And you know, I started the last 2 out of 3, and then I went to the Wales games. And I think, you know, for me, my season only just started. So I think the summer was just about working on, you know, what I can do to be stronger and fitter coming into pre-season. And you know, I've come through pre-season. I feel really fit and strong, and I'm in a really good place at the moment.
Talk about Wales as well. Full Welshman in the Leeds lineup.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. What's that like in the dressing room when you know your international teammates and your club teammates? You constantly share in the same dressing room. Is there like an extra connection there, extra understanding? Yeah, it's massive. I think you might have seen that tonight. You know, me and Joe were kind of in that little bit of triangle, and I knew Joe, you know, as I was playing wing back, but I know Joe is going to, you know, be able to cover that full back role when I'm not there. I'm kind of on that connection of, you know, when I do make something behind, he's going to find me. But also, I think one of the first times he played for me, that's something that, you know, we work on all the time, and you know, we speak about. But also, you know, we've had Harry as well, so another, you know, a great addition. But it does help having that chemistry. And was it a little tactical battle as well with Nico Williams on the opposite side? Because you just kept going behind him every single time. Yeah, I think in that position, I think having that threat is always important to get the ball, but also create space for others. And obviously, not playing Saturday, I had a lot of energy today, and I just wanted to, you know, make the most of that.
Is that something we analysed the goal before you come on there, and we talked about Nico's positioning was quite high for your goal. He was kind of out of position. Is that something you looked at that you could exploit, or was it just that you just found yourself in the wrong position?
I think the job of the fullbacks for both our teams is obviously to create that, you know, that width. And sometimes, you know, playing that cat and mouse game, if the ball does come out, you're in behind. But if you're a little bit deep, you don't have that option. You know, here it is. If they do play through, maybe if I'm in a decent position, I don't get this ball. So as I said, playing on the wing back could have been a little bit deeper then, but you know, I just felt like if I was higher, if we're going to win the ball back, I'm always going to be, you know, looking for that ball across. Sean obviously found me nicely, but as I said, I've got Joe behind me, so I can always trust him to cover me. I always get back, but just having him there as that cover, he's always having to push forward, and you know, you get your rewards. It's a great finish, by the way. I like the finish. Thank you.
Dan, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for popping in and seeing us. Dan James there, who got the first goal for Leeds this evening. Thank you, Dan. Let's have a look at the other results tonight then. Norwich were the first team through. Middlesbrough, we saw them in the last round, won at Doncaster. Lincoln thumping 4-1 win at Blackpool. And Ipswich Town in the Premier League beat Leicester by 3-1. On the second sheet of results this evening, Coventry 2 up, Peg back to 2-2, but got through at home park. West Ham 1 down at St Mary's in the end, won 4-1. Hull beat Stoke 5-4 on penalties. Leyton Orient beat Walsall on penalties. Brentford with a thumping win at Birmingham. 4 more games tomorrow night, all available to watch on Sky Sports, as is the third round draw, which will be live after the Preston-Everton match. And you can see all the goals from the week's matches just after midnight tomorrow night. That's on ITV4. Chris Wood, the Nottingham Forest striker, giving his reaction now to Gabriel Clark.
Chris, it was well matched and it was a narrow defeat on Saturday, but how do you sum up the season?
Look, yeah, it's a game of fine margins. They took the chances, and unfortunately we didn't create too many at that stage anyway. But yeah, they took the chances at probably good times.
Is the frustration that their first goal came from a mistake of sorts?
Look, yeah, I mean, it's one of those mistakes happen in games. We have to try and help support our player and get anything out of a hole. We can't have perfect games. Yeah, it's frustrating, but we move and we get better and we keep progressing and doing better, because today wasn't up to the level we want to be, but we know we've got a long way to go to get to the level where we need to be.
And you were close, of course. I think the game was on that knife edge, wasn't it, when Trafford made that save?
Look, yeah, to be fair, when I connected with it, I thought it was in, and he's made a hell of a save. That's the way it goes sometimes. They get a good save and changes the game, the momentum goes back in their way. But on another night it will go in. We're just going to keep believing, keep being positive, and the goals and the wins will come.
You're bedding in, obviously, under a new manager and a new system. What have these first 2 games told you?
It told us we're not exactly where we want to be, but we need to keep working hard. Training pitch, games, they come thick and fast, and that's what we've got to do. We've just got to believe in what we're trying to do. Don't shy away from it now. Take this by the scruff of the neck and we'll go forward.
And there's exciting news around the club. I don't know if you've heard, but Liam Delap potentially coming, a record signing, obviously competing with you up front, but that's got to tell you something.
Yeah, well and truly, we're a very ambitious club, and that shows it by what we're spending on players like that, good players. So it'll be fantastic to have Liam through the door. Hopefully he gets all signed and sealed and through the door. And it's one of those that'll be great for our team, competition, healthy competition, which is fantastic, and we all will bring on and become better players for it. Thank you. No problem.
Liam Delap was certainly out of the competition with Chris Wood and with Igor Jesus. It's just worth reiterating, Oliver Glasser is the 5th different manager in 12 months. From your experience, you two, how long does it take to get used to a new manager? Without cracking a series of jokes, you just get used to one, and then another one comes along. Your head must be spinning in the end.
It is, because I think the biggest thing is, when a manager comes in, he has his way of thinking about football and what he wants from you. Because one manager might say, oh, I want you in this position. And then the next manager says, no, I don't like that position so much because of this. I would like you this position, or doing this. And I think that it's the communication of that. Honestly, it takes 2 or 3 months to really get used to somebody and what they want, and meetings and analysis and video and all of these things. So it takes a little bit of a while, not just 5, 6, 8 games, 10 games.
And so with a man like Oliver Glasser, who has had such success, if you're Nottingham Forest, we're talking about the hierarchy here, you just have to go, we have to give this man the time that Robert's just outlined. And if things are a bit sticky to start with, we just have to look at the end game, which is the guy did so well at Crystal Palace. That's what we bank on him bringing here.
There's not too many managers going to any job and have success straight away. It takes time. He has a clear style of how he wants to play, and you can't keep turning over managers. I had it in my first sort of second season at Leeds as well. We turned over so many managers. It doesn't help. He's got a clear way of playing. He will bring success to this football club. So you've just got to be patient.
But one of the things that I think is very important in football especially is it's an art game, and I mean that in terms of you practice, repeat, you did some things wrong, then you go back to the practice again and it gets better, and that consistency of doing that in 2 or 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and that's when you get the result.
Is that almost muscle memory by the end?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's
mental muscle memory.
Yeah. And for example, if I'm a striker, if I'm a striker, I need to repeat that finish over and over again, and then when it comes game time, I'm calm with it because I know how many reps I've done, how many times I've done it, and then it's the results come. So we have to remember that with managers it's very similar, that when a manager comes in, he has to try and get his message across and talk to his players and practice. So it's about time.
Yeah, very quickly, Leeds Brentford, great chance to really carry on this good start to the season.
Yeah, huge chance. Home game. We know how good Leeds are at home, and it's an opportunity for them now. They've got two really good performances, 2 clean sheets, which will give them a lot of confidence as well. And they're really strong all over the park. We've seen the subs brought on tonight as well. Strengthening the team again. So they're in a good place. There's a real feel-good factor around the club, which is great.
Absolutely. They do, don't they? Look strong, great support.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, gents. Enjoyed your company as ever. 2 days of live racing this weekend from Goodwood. Join the team ITV4 on Saturday, ITV1 and STV on Sunday from 1:15. And a week tomorrow live cycling with the coverage of Tour Britain ITV4. That starts Wednesday the 2nd of September. We will be back at the Carabao Cup with a live game in round 3. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
You can see, once it got shifted out wide, the opportunity opened up, and he put it away superbly. Mr. Porky sponsors coverage of the Carabao Cup. Can you go see the mountain?
Dad, can we do this again next weekend?
Sure. The Tiguan. For all life's adventures.
TUI gives you more. More confidence you got the best deal thanks to the TUI price match promise. More, ooh, that looks good. Food options.